Gary Payton and the Seattle Supersonics.
Jay Peter with the Seattle Mariners.
Jermaine Curse.
Cliff Averill.
Dave Burleson. You're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
What's up, everybody? How's it going? This is NorbCam coming at you on this day after Christmas. So I just want to wish all of you a very belated Merry Christmas. I hope you guys enjoyed your Christmas day and enjoying the holidays so far. We were blessed to have a white Christmas yesterday, and so it was good over here in the Pacific Northwest. But what more exciting than to have white Christmas with a Seahawks victory over the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Eve, setting up what should be a very, very exciting end to the 2017 regular season, as we have, as far as the Seahawks are concerned, a couple of very important games on tap. Of course, at the flex to the same time, Seattle taking on our division rival Cardinals, and the Atlanta Falcons going up against the Panthers, who we need to lose so that we can make it into the playoffs, assuming that Seattle can beat the Cardinals at home. So welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys can hear and see me okay. I see some of you already blowing the chat up already, such as, let's see who's on here right now. First up in the chat room, RSN, Derek Dutov, Sebastian Rizzo, Graham Peebles, your boy Mason Parker, Mr. Butter, Noah Plays Games, NFL Prediction Kid, and it goes on and on. So I can't really keep up with the chat as it flies by so quickly. I'll try to look over and answer questions when I can. I see people want to know about the Earl Thomas situation. We will definitely talk about that, and I want to get your reactions to that as well as a whole bunch more on this upcoming hour or more of Ask Norb, talking about this leading up to the finale of the game. I see a lot of calls starting to come in, so if you are watching this, you can see on the screen, simply dial the number 515-739-1219, and then when prompted, enter the code 696153, and you'll be put into the queue. And I must remind you to please stay on the line, because I do try to answer the calls in the order that they were received. So we're going to try to do this. I want to really try to make it a goal to get through as many calls as possible, so I'm probably going to not spend as long on each individual call and try to get through as many as possible within this section. So just real quick, just to kind of get things started, I do want to talk about the Seahawks win over the Cowboys, the Earl Thomas comments after the game, and then preview a little bit about what's to come here against the Arizona Cardinals, and get your thoughts on this as well. So just a couple thoughts on the game. Well, what's to say? I think first and foremost, I think it was an amazing win, a very exciting game. The fact that most of the nation doubted the Seahawks, and I must confess, guilty, that even myself had my doubts about Seattle being able to pull this off, given the way we were beat down so badly against the Rams the previous week. But they showed us once again that Seattle has the will, the pride to stand up and take teams down, especially when their backs are against the wall. They were amazing on defense, kind of reminded me of the good old days of the early 2010s in the Super Bowl 48 run, when the defense were making plays and the offense was just kind of there to try to, get through it. That's the kind of game it was. But, man, the defense in the first half looked like they were just getting run over. And Ezekiel Elliott was running at a good 4 to 5 yards a clip. Looked like we couldn't stop him. And then all of a sudden, when we just seemed to be dead in the water, Byron Maxwell gets a punch out, the 1 foot punch out, knocks that ball out of Dez Bryant's hands like he did in Super Bowl 48, knocks it right out of there, causes a turnover, which leads to our first touchdown. We take the lead. That was one of 3 turnovers. The second was the pick 6 by Justin Coleman, jumping into the kettle afterwards, getting a penalty for that, even though I don't know why we got the penalty, because Ezekiel Elliott didn't get penalized, if I recall, last year. But Anyway, of course, we are the visiting team. I thought that was pretty hilarious, though. And then the final interception, KJ Wright, off of Des Bryant's hands, leads to the final touchdown. And as it turns out to be the game-winning touchdown. Just goes to show you the difference it makes when we have our two Pro Bowl linebackers in there, Bobby Wagner and KJ Wright. We did not have either of those guys at full health. KJ Wright was completely gone when we played the Rams last week, and having the two of them together is like a completely different, totally different look. And so, big difference. But those turnovers were the key, because as it turns out, our offense left a lot to be desired. I do have to focus on a couple more things just on the positive side. I thought the defensive coordinator, Chris Richard, deserves some credit for his game plan against the Cowboys. He drew up a bunch of corner blitzes, which I haven't seen them do that many times in a game. Really dialed up the pressure on Dak Prescott, which led to him, I think, some of his erratic throws. And so that was some very effective scheming on their part. And then finally, if you didn't see the ISO shot of Doug Baldwin, the move he made to get that touchdown, he just left that defender reaching for air, did a little juke inside, and then went outside, and that was a beautiful thing. That's one of Baldwin's best attributes. He may not be the fastest guy, but man, that guy's got quick moves off the line, especially. So, great play there. On the negative side, offense was bad. Statistically speaking, you just look at this. We had 136 yards of total offense. 76 rushing and 60 passing, which is just horrible. But they were able to do it. They got those yards when it counted, which was on those drives following the turnovers. So they capitalized and were very opportunistic. So you got to give them credit for that. But as a whole, they have just not been able to put any kind of a semblance of a running game or a consistent offense together, which is very nerve-wracking and concerning moving forward here, even if we do make the playoffs, but one game at a time. What else was bad? Pass interference calls. We got stung for 2 pass interference calls, both I think which were bad, particularly the one called on Justin Coleman. I mean, he was getting mauled by the receiver, getting his arm wrapped around his neck. Coleman was looking back for the ball, fighting for it. I don't know what else he's supposed to do there. I think that was a bogus, really bad call. And so penalty yards, we were like, was 11 penalties for 100 and, what was it, 100 and, what's that number? Penalties. 142 yards, half of them on those 2 plays. But still, too many penalties in an offense that's already having problems. Just not good football. So they got some things to clean up for sure. But I got to do a thank you to the Cowboys. I think the pivotal point in that game was when they were down in our red zone. They'd gone down like inside the 10-yard line to a pass to Jason Witten. And to not give Ezekiel Elliott the ball, the way he was running that whole game, to not give him touches inside our 10, not even one time. Thank you, Jason Garrett and your whole offensive coordinator and department for doing that, because that was mind-boggling why you wouldn't give your running back that kind of opportunity to score at least 1 or 2 times that deep in the end zone. I guess we're not the only one who doesn't run the ball in obvious situations. My buddy Pat, who I sit next to during the games, we were talking about it earlier. He said, well, the reason they didn't hand him off is because we had our safeties playing up, pretty much loading the box and telling him, we are going to not let you beat us by the run. Take your best chances some other way. And maybe that was the case. They did load it up pretty high, but I don't know. That's one of the things I still would have run it at least one time. But I'm glad they didn't, because they ended up getting a penalty, losing yards and a sack, and they got no points because they missed a field goal. Now, to me, that was the turning point in that game. So we were pretty fortunate. Created our own luck, I guess you'd say, but still, we can't make a living on this kind of style of football, just like we couldn't make a living off Russell Wilson doing pirouettes and spinning and getting spectacular kind of luck plays. We've got to get a little bit more consistency. But we're practically through an entire season. I haven't found it yet. I don't know if we're going to find it. So we may just have to live with what we got. And this may be it. We have to just be an opportunistic turnover machine that has our quarterback just running for cover and throwing the ball up and hoping to get plays. But we'll see what we can do. But that's we'll talk about that with the Cardinals game coming up. But I want to get your guys' thoughts as we talk about this, all things Seahawks. So let's go to the phone lines right now. I'm going to take it to across the border up north to my buddy Anish over in Vancouver, Washington, British Columbia. Hi, what's up, man? You up there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, British Columbia, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, man? How you doing? What's your thoughts on everything that's transpired this week?
Well, like I called you last week, I said I was very confident that we would get the job done, and there was no doubt this team was going to pull it out and win. It's just one of those things where everything fell into place. Team played really well, and one thing I'm happy about, winning in Dallas is now that those 2 games are moved to 125 now. So now, like knowing going to Central Link Field on Sunday, we'll know during the game like what happens not before the game, the outcome of those 2 games. So I really like the NFL did that.
Yep.
Did the right thing. And
Smart move. Smart move.
Yeah, it's moved into late window, and there's no reason why we can't make the playoffs. There's no reason why this team can't finish strong, regardless of what happens. I mean, 10 wins is going to be, I don't want to look past Arizona because they're going to play hard to beat us. But I think that if all goes well, all you need is a ticket into the dance to have a chance. And we got that chance now.
And we will need help from the Panthers because we can't do it all our own. So, of course, we got to take care of business at CenturyLink. But, yes, we needed to be Panther fans this week. Go Cam Newton, as much as it pains me to say it. We need them to take down the Falcons so that we can have that opportunity to punch our ticket and get into the playoffs. So, yes, go Hawks and go Panthers this week. What's your thoughts on the Earl Thomas deal? That just much ado about nothing, or do people have a legitimate reason to be concerned in your mind?
Well, Earl, you know what? He's been here since 2010. He's a future Hall of Famer. Loved for everything he's done for the organization and for the city of Seattle. The fact of the matter is, it was a private conversation that was recorded, and a lot of things are said probably in private conversations that we don't know. So he's a Texas guy. He was born and raised in his home state. So if that's where truly his heart is, then I nothing but respect to him. So. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that. Luckily, he signed for next season, and I think he does want to be in Seattle. I think it's one of those things where I believe what he said. I think if he was, an option was for him to leave, he would want to be traded to Dallas, and there's nothing really wrong with that. I mean, that's where he's from, and and you got to remember this guy's one of the greatest of all time. He's a future Hall of Famer, and at the end of the day, to me, it's much about nothing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Lynch situation with him going back to Oakland, hometown, where he grew up, one of his teams that he grew up watching. And so for that reason, I don't blame him either. And, just listening to his interview and then listening to Pete Carroll this morning talking about it, they made it pretty clear that it sounded like it's a lot, much ado about nothing. And, as usual, the media just focuses on just the key words that make it sound like a really bad thing. But if you listen to the whole thing, he makes it pretty clear that he says he wants to be here. He hopes to stay here. But, and that's the whole thing. Because everybody knows it's a business, there's always that just in case you've quit it out there. But, yeah, it's just unfortunate everybody heard it. That's the only thing that I think was the only negative to the whole deal. But I think they'll bring him back. There's a lot of offseason decisions to be made with players who are either free agents this year or free agents to be next season. And, there's going to be some names who are going to have to go that we like, and there are going to be some guys who will stay that we might be surprised at. But I think Earl Thomas will be one that I can't see them letting him go. He's a staple and one of the key players like Wagner in this defense. So hopefully that's the case. And we won't even remember this conversation.
I agree, and I'll see you there Sunday. This Sunday I'll make sure I link up with you.
All right, man. Sounds good. Let's get it done. Go Hawks.
All right, Norb. Go Hawks.
All right. Anish, season ticket holder over at CenturyLink Field. All right, let's go to Let's go to Brandon over in Minneapolis. How you doing, Brandon? So now I'm starting to, I got my little sophisticated system. I'm starting to remember people's numbers here before I even talk to you. So, Brandon, what's going on, man?
Yeah, nothing much, man. Merry Christmas to you and Happy Holidays.
Same to you.
Yeah. Norb, I feel like we can actually. I have full confidence that we can make it to the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm with you. What's your thought behind that?
I just feel like with the Panthers on that winning streak they have, I just feel like Atlanta can't beat them. I mean, Carolina's playing outstanding on defense, and Cam Newton's just passing the ball well, and I feel like they can't be stopped right now.
Well, Atlanta hasn't exactly been playing great ball. They lost this past weekend, fortunately, and then prior to that, they almost lost to a Bucs team that almost beat them as well. So, they're not exactly, doing a great job right now in terms of having a positive flow going to the end of the season. But they are playing at home, which makes me a little nervous because Atlanta is good in that dome of theirs. So it's just the only, if it was just us having to worry about the Cardinals, I'd feel really good that, this thing, we got control of our own destiny. But the bottom line is we're going to have to watch the scoreboard and keep peeking over and seeing how's that Panther-Falcon game going. But I'm optimistic with you, man. I'm just glad we're going into this final game with something on the line. That was what I was just hoping, that this last game would mean something, and it sure does.
Yeah, I feel like Panthers are just going to win, and then we beat Arizona easy, and then we're in.
Yeah, I think so. It's a pretty simple formula, but I think Seattle with playing at home, backs against the wall. I don't think, as much as the Cardinals have had a lot of success in our stadium, I just don't think they'll let this one slip away. This is too big of a game to let slip out of our hands this time.
Yeah, and if we make the playoffs, I'm pretty sure we'll most likely face in the Rams again.
It looks like at this point we'll have a third time facing the Rams for the rubber match, the tiebreaker, which I'm actually excited about. The fact that they got the best of us last time, I think everybody knows that we would not play as badly as we did that last time. So I think it'll be a little different. Yeah. I like our chances if we do have to face the Rams in the first round of the wild card playoffs. I just hope we can get that chance. It'll be so much fun.
Yeah. Plus, the Rams don't have as much playoff experience, and that came into a factor last year with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
But I just hope you can get a win and get in.
Yeah, that was definitely an anomaly of a game that we played against the Rams. But yeah, the playoff football is different, and again, as long as we got with Wagner and KJ back in there, that's a whole different team when those guys are healthy and in the game. So, but anyway, we'll worry about that. We'll talk about that one next week. But we got to take care of this game right here. So, anyway, it's going to be fun. Lots of excitement building up to Sunday. But yeah, we'll all be watching. So, thanks for the call, Brandon. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, go Hawks. We'll talk soon.
Yeah, go Hawks.
All right, just keep it going. Let's go to Caden over in Baltimore. What's up, Caden? How you doing tonight?
How you doing, Norb?
I'm doing good, man. What's your thoughts on this?
Huh? Man, I haven't heard a lot. I was just eating dinner. I just got on here.
Well, what's your thoughts on this game coming up against the Cardinals?
Man, the Cardinals are missing a lot of holes on their defense through the offseason, but you've got to keep in mind that Patrick Pearson and Tyrann Mathieu are still there. So our receivers are going to have to do well against Pete, and let's see how that matchup with Jimmy Graham versus Tyrann Mathieu will be.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, their secondary is still dangerous, and we've just got to, I think we've just got to minimize the mistakes. I still think that so many times Seattle is our own worst enemy. I don't expect to be able to really run the ball. We haven't done it all season, but they're going to have to get really creative to find opportunities to get to maximize our opportunities. And if the Cardinals get aggressive with the pass rush, we got to throw a few screens to the running backs. I think that's been very successful. Wilson's got to do what he started doing in the second half of that game against the Cowboys, throwing to the check down to the receiver, get 5 or 6 yards with Mike Davis, because when he gets out in space, that guy can put some moves out there and get it's almost like a passing version of the running game. So there's definitely some things I think they can do to maximize their strengths, because they're not going to be able to reinvent themselves, but they can do some things to, minimize mistakes and maximize opportunities. So it's there for the taking for sure.
Yeah, real quick, I must admit a sin. You know I'm the NFL prediction kid, right?
Yes.
I do YouTube.
Yeah.
So I apologize, but I picked the Cowboys to beat the Seahawks this week. Luckily, that was wrong.
Well, you weren't alone. I think everybody was picking the Cowboys to win this week, pretty much. 90% of probably all the pickers out there. I saw very few picking the Seahawks, so it's cool to get the upset. So you don't have to apologize. Yeah. I understand. Yeah. Glad you were wrong too. I picked us losing this game in my prediction video I did at the beginning of the year. I was all wrong. I said 14-2, and the two games I said we would lose are the two games we actually won. So I was. Thank goodness I'm not betting down in Vegas, because I would be broke by now.
Yeah. So let's go back to what we were talking about. And then Larry Fitzgerald, we have to cover him.
Oh yeah, he's always dangerous.
That's gonna be tough. But the quarterback situation with the Cardinals, we gotta see how that fares out, because we have Larry Fitzgerald throwing balls. Next thing you know, he'll be the quarterback for the Cardinals.
Well, that would be interesting. I'd rather see Larry Fitzgerald as a quarterback than running routes, because he's been a thorn in our side for a while. But I haven't really kept up with the. I'm a little bit ill prepared for my preparation against the Cardinals. I haven't really done my research on there. Are they pretty banged up at quarter? Is that what you're saying? At quarterback?
Yeah.
So who's a quarterback right now?
Blaine Gabbert.
It's Gabbert. Okay, all right.
Blaine Gabbert. So we went up against Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
All the time.
All right. Well, yeah, he doesn't scare me. We've had some experience facing him, so. But yeah, we definitely got to take care of our business, because even if things out of our control don't go our way, I can at least live with the fact that as long as we take care of our business, we did everything in our power, at least at this point, to give ourselves the best shot. So. Can't worry about what we can't control. But yeah, it's gonna be fun to watch, man. I'm excited. This is gonna be a big, exciting lead up to Sunday. Yep.
We need the Falcons to lose, and playoffs here we come.
That's right.
Go Panthers, I guess.
Yes. Oh yeah. Go Panthers and go Hawks. And thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it, Caden. All right.
You too.
All right. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. Yeah. You betcha, man. All right. We'll talk soon. All right, let's keep it going. Let's see. Let's go to Art over in Santa Clara. Yo, what's up, man? How's it going?
It's a good day. We beat the Cowboys. Having a great day. Great holidays. How's your holidays?
Oh, yeah. Holidays are great. Yeah, it would be very depressing if we had lost that game, but that made the night. And nothing better than not only winning to keep the hope alive, but to do it and hand one over an L to knock the Cowboys out and watch Jerry Jones exit his suite in very angry, depressed fashion. Doesn't get much better than that. So that was just an extra goodie on top of it. Cherry on top. So what's your thoughts going into this game coming up here? I mean, we got two things we got to have happen.
I'm confident. I think we could beat Arizona. They don't have Carson Wentz today. I mean, not Carson Wentz.
Carson Palmer.
Carson Palmer. Yeah.
No, he's been done for a while. But yeah, it's all backups now as far as the quarterback's concerned.
Yeah, so I don't really see Arizona beating us when they really have something to play for. In Seattle, they're trying to get in the playoff spot. So, but Arizona playing at home, that's going to be tough.
Yeah, well, we beat them at home, so we've proven we can do that. But they've caused issues at home. We haven't beaten them at home in a while. We lost to them last year, and we've had not a good stretch of Arizona under Bruce Arians playing in Seattle. So we actually have a streak here that we got to break. So, it's historically not been good for us.
What are your thoughts on the coach saying that he he owns CenturyLink or something like that.
Yeah, I saw the soundbite. Yeah, he was doing his. I think it must have been the post game talk with his players in the locker room, and said basically called the CenturyLink field their home field, and that they were going to kick our you know what's. And so I'm sure the players got wind of that. And much like you guys may not have heard, but there was a bet apparently between Ezekiel Elliott and what's his name? Who was the running back for former running back for the Rams? Eric Dickerson. He had a bet going on that he was going to run for 200 yards against us, and I'm sure the Seahawks didn't take too kindly to that. They kept him under 100.
Yeah,
so anytime
he had a good first half.
He had a very good first half. It's perplexing that they didn't keep pounding it, but the defense took care of it. And but more importantly, I think when you run your mouth too much, that's the kind of stuff that you just don't want to give other teams too much motivation. In this case, the coach himself, Bruce Arians, gave Seahawks plenty of billboard material to get any. Not that they needed any more firing up. I mean, this is your season on the line, so I don't think the Seahawks really needed anything else. But if it's one extra little bit for that D-line to get in there and sack the quarterback, or get that extra little block to spring the runner or Russell Wilson for a big gain, hopefully that little thing will be eating at them in the subconscious of their brain. But yeah, no, it's there's a lot. It's going to be a good rivalry game. Hopefully we come out on top. But I'm just glad we have so much to play for, and it'll make for an exciting finish to the season.
Yeah.
So,
are you going if the Seahawks do go to the playoffs? Are you going? Are you traveling?
Oh, am I going to travel to the I haven't even thought that far ahead because I'm so much into the whole one game at a time thing. I don't want to start jinxing by thinking of making plans and all that. So I haven't thought that far ahead at this point. After they didn't do so well with me following them around, I kind of decided that I was going to just stay home for these away games for the rest of this year because I wasn't bringing a whole lot of good luck. So at this point, I'm leaning towards staying put this time. So I will probably continue to stay put this year. Well, we'll see what happens after this game. I may feel differently, but right now my plan is to stay put. All right, man, thanks.
Play LA?
I'll see you. I'm not sure if that's set in stone. I think right now we would be playing LA, but that could change if the seed. I don't know if the seeding would change because we would definitely play the number 3 seed, which I think right now the Rams are that. So I'm not sure if that would change given the last game of the season. So I have to research that one. But it's most likely right now we're going to play the Rams for the 3rd time if we do get in, when we get in. So yeah, it'll be a very interesting rematch 3 times against the Rams this year if that's the case. So. But first things first, got to take care of this. You betcha, man. We'll talk to you soon, Art.
Yeah.
Go Hawks. All right. Let's see. Let's take this back. Hey, I want to. We've got Sean over in Atlanta. I gotta get an Atlanta perspective here. So, what's up? Is this Sean, man?
Yo, what's up, man?
How's it going? Not Atlanta fan, but Sean in Atlanta. How you doing?
What's up, man? You tell me. You ready for your season to be over this week?
No, I'm not. Are you?
Whoa.
I'm just putting the question. I'm just putting the question back at you, man.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun Sunday. I'll tell you that much.
It is. I'm glad that the NFL set it to where everybody's game means something because we're all fighting at the same time. Nobody can come into a game already kind of seeing their fate sealed. So I think that was a smart move. But why don't you tell me a little bit, since you got the Atlanta perspective, how confident do you guys feel with the Panthers coming into you guys' house, you guys coming off of a loss this past Sunday? Are you guys concerned as fans? What's the vibe for the fan base?
So, last week we played like garbage, and that's not just coming from me. That's coming from a lot of the people I've talked to. Just absolute garbage. Like not what I was expecting at all. We knew that it was going to come down to the turnover ratios, and unfortunately, New Orleans won that. Freeman fumbled the football a couple of times, but on this Sunday against Carolina. We're optimistic. We feel like, here's what I'm going to say. I feel like Seattle's going to win. And then, I feel like it's going to come down to like the fourth quarter of the Carolina game, and I just feel like, our defense is playing well, and I can't believe I'm saying this. If you told me last year that our offense would be struggling this year and our defense would be going off top 15 in the league, I wouldn't believe it. But our offense has to step up on Sunday. I mean, we scored a touchdown in the third or fourth quarter, and that was it was in garbage time. We were down 20-3 or something like that. I mean, we just gotta go, and I feel like we're definitely just gonna have to make a lot of big plays. I felt when Kelvin Benjamin left Carolina, I thought that was it. Because Cam had such a tight bond with Kelvin Benjamin, and they were Kelvin Benjamin was a good player with the size and everything, but they've been playing amazing without him. So definitely scared. I feel like Seattle's gonna pull it off. So now, I mean, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, yeah, we will see. We will all be nervously watching each other's scoreboards during the course of the games. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun finish. But it's ironic that while we don't play each other, we would be spoiling each other's seasons technically. So it's a must-win for both of us. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this all plays out. But yeah,
But even if I want to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
Even if Seattle does make the playoffs, how far do you think they can really go in the playoffs? Last week you told me teams that can run the football in December are the teams that are going to be good in the playoffs, and that's completely agreeable. But what do you think? How far do you think Seattle can go, even if they make it with no run game, just leaning on Russell Wilson, playing on best defenses in the AFC at that point in the playoffs?
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
Most likely it's going to be against LA.
Yeah, it's not a good formula, and I wouldn't normally draw it up and say, "Here's how we're going to do it, folks. We're going to do it like this." I still stand by that. The teams who can run the ball generally have the upper hand, and it sucks that we don't have that. We haven't had it in a couple of years. We haven't had it all season, and I don't expect it to suddenly just appear out of nowhere. So our offense has not been playing well. Just even though that we got the win against Dallas, as I said at the beginning, we have not. Our offense did not do much to help ourselves out through the course of the game, but they were situationally opportunistic. But stranger things have happened, and the one thing I'd say we do have going for us, if we do, should I use the word when we do get in, the advantage there that we have is the experience. We've got coaches, we've got players who have been through this a couple of times through Super Bowl runs. Russell Wilson has been through a couple of Super Bowls, and there's something about having that experience in these high tension games where that can often affect a rookie or a new team, because you get a little bit too amped up for a game, and next thing you know, you're overthrowing the ball, you're trying to do too much, you get out of discipline, and things like that. Even for coaches sometimes don't think right when they're under pressure that they're not familiar with. So that's one thing that Seattle's got advantage of that a lot of these other teams don't, who are already in the playoffs now. They don't have the experience, and so while we don't have the run game, hopefully the experience will play in and help us out. But we're going to have to play some of our best football as a whole. And when we do it, we can beat teams like Philadelphia. We can even beat teams like the Cowboys with a not very good performance. But we have to play really solid, and we don't have a lot of room for error. So I just want to get in, because after that point, anything can happen.
I'll tell you what, man. I'll be fulfilling my season ticket holder duties down here in Atlanta. And we'll be looking at the scoreboard of what's going on up there, and see you on. Hopefully, not see you in the playoffs, and us watching out, looking in.
Well, we'll see how it goes. But either way, we will be talking about how this Sunday played out next week, and we can all share our thoughts on how things go. We'll see who's happy and who's not. But it's going to be a fun Sunday for sure. All right, man. Well, I would wish you good luck, but I don't really want you to have any. So I'll just say have fun on Sunday, all right?
Respect that. All right, man. Take care.
All right, you too. Go Hawks. Okay, all right. Let's see. Let's go back to, let's see. We're going to take it to the 813 new caller here. All right, who's this and where are you calling from? Hello.
I'm Zach. Zach from Tampa.
You say Seth?
Zach.
Oh, Zach. Zach from Tampa. All right, man. Seahawks fan?
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, what's your thoughts, I guess, looking ahead to this weekend, obviously, playoff type game, must win. What's your feeling going into it?
Feeling pretty good. I think the Seahawks will win against the Cardinals, but kind of scares me with the Panthers-Falcons game because Panthers already in the playoffs, so they're going to be sitting some of their players, and it's going to be at Atlanta.
Right. Well, the second part, you were correct about that. It is in Atlanta, but I do believe they still have something to play for because they are still kind of battling for that. They haven't settled the NFC South yet because they and the Saints are still tied up right now. So I think they need the Saints to lose for the Panthers to take the South. So we're really rooting for three teams. We're rooting for, obviously, the Seahawks. We're rooting for the Panthers, and we're rooting for the Saints to lose to give the Panthers motivation to play the entire game. So, or at least make it close enough that they won't be, so far ahead that the Panthers won't want to try anymore in the second half or something. So I believe that's how the scenario plays out. But I think the fact that they have all these games going on at the same time, it's too deep into the game where people will, it's mid-game. They'll be playing hopefully hard throughout the whole game, and hopefully the Panthers would give the Falcons a run for the money. But, yeah, that game makes me nervous. I'm more nervous about that than I'm worried about our game.
Yeah, and even if we do make it to the playoffs, how far do you really think we can make it without really a run game? I guess it hurts me to say that, but I don't think we can make it far. I think we'll just lose in the wild card.
Well, here's the thing. And you're right, statistically and, following my own formula, as I just spoke about, teams that generally can run the ball do better in the playoffs. I think they're geared more to have more likely success. However, I brought up the whole point about we're a more experienced team when it comes to the playoffs. But the other thing I think, too, is that, Philadelphia, to me, is the most probably less prepared team to number one seed team, given the fact that their quarterback, who was such a big part of the success of their season, is gone. And watching the way that team has played without him, yeah, they got 2 wins, but they don't look so good. They should have lost that game against the Raiders last night. And I think they look very beatable because their offense isn't the same without Carson Wentz in there. So I think that this just gives a chance for a team like Seattle to possibly take advantage of that and, be a lower seed team that can knock off, a not so impervious, unbeatable number one type of team. I think they're very vulnerable. So maybe it might play out where we get the Rams, we get revenge on them, and then we're going to have to obviously go to Philadelphia and do it there. But, I just think that I like that path just because of the two teams at the top seed. If we can get that far, I would much rather face the Eagles again than the Vikings. But, I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves. But do I think we can go far? It would be tough. We've obviously, without home field advantage, the last 3 times we've been through this route, we have not made it past the divisional round. But, again, you never know what might happen. So, there's always a chance. It's just going to be a lot harder, and we have to play a lot more perfect ball without having the strength of a run game. But who knows? Chris Carson might get back in time for the playoffs, and that could change everything because I think he's still our leading rusher, and he's been gone for like 3/4 of the season. So we'll see what happens in that regard.
4 games, so. What's
that?
Yeah, I say he only played 4 games.
Yeah, played 4 games, and he's our leading rusher. Go figure. So, yeah. We'll worry about that problem when we get there. But right now, we just got to get this game done. And, man, Panthers, go, baby. Go Cam Newton, the guy I can't stand. One of the most guys I can't stand in the NFL. I have to root for this guy. But, you know, that's how it is.
I want to go back to the Cowboys game. We had more penalties against us than we did actual offensive yards.
That's right.
And I was reading about that, and no team has done that and won. And I think it was like 51 years ago.
Yes, I believe it was 1966 was the last time that was done. Yes, that's.
Yeah, and that kind of scared me. So I can't win like that.
No, that's statistically we were beaten in so many different categories except the one that mattered, and that's turnovers and points. But yeah, every other stat we pretty much got dominated in. So you know we can't expect to win games like that on a consistent basis. So we were fortunate that went our way. But yeah, a couple of those penalties were big-time pass interference calls that I think were horrible calls. One in particular against Coleman. But you know, that's just how it is. But you know, I thought not much more you can do than the way he played that particular play. But you know, do your best, and I hope the balls bounce your way. But yeah, the penalty thing is still a problem. But I feel like it's like the run game. Clearly, we're just going to have them, and just like the run game that we're not going to have, we're just going to learn to deal with it and hopefully minimize the damage. And offense has just got to do what they can do, because right now that's our weak spot in the game. We've got to play better on offense. And Russell Wilson's got to play better. He has not been very sharp the last couple of games. So, you know, but there's always a chance to turn it around, for sure. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Let's get this thing done. All right, go Hawks. Yeah, happy holidays to you. Go Hawks. All right, good stuff right there. Let's see, I'm going to take it to, let's see here. All right, I'm going to go to a new caller here on the line from the 956. You're on with NorbCam. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
It's Jay from South Texas. I've been on before, fam.
Oh, yeah, I didn't have you down. Say your name again?
Yeah. It's Jay. I just want to clear one thing up real quick.
Yeah.
Last time everyone called me a school shooter, I'm not a school shooter, I promise.
You're not a what?
Last time everyone called me a school shooter, I promise I'm not a school shooter.
A school shooter. Okay. I guess I'm missing something here. But all right, well, Jay, where are you calling from? What town are you from?
I'm from South Texas.
South Texas. All right. All right, what's on your mind, man?
Hey. All right. So last week we played the Falcons. I had a good Christmas because, like, the Saints won. You're welcome. We beat the Falcons. We did our part.
Yep. Thank you very much for doing
that.
But
I need my Saints to win this weekend. I want the South.
Okay, yeah. So as a Saints fan, again, we unfortunately we have to root against you guys because I want to make sure I'm clear on this formula. So as a Saints fan, you guys would get the division with a win, right? But if you guys lose, the Panthers Panthers automatically get it, or do they have to win too?
They have to win too.
They have to win. So they're basically in kind of like our situation, but yours is for the division title. Yeah. And okay, gotcha. So you guys win and you're in, or you win, you get the division. You lose, the Panthers still have to win. Yeah. Okay, all right.
Either way, we clinch. But like, let's say we both lose, we still win the division because we beat them twice.
Oh, okay, all right. So,
yeah,
gotcha.
We swept them.
Okay. So either way, all these teams have something to play for during this last game. So, yeah.
Was it okay? I feel like all the sports outlets give the Panthers a pass. And you know why?
Why is that?
Because every time, like, when they played the Saints the first time, Cam Newton was you could tell he was hurt. Like, they didn't want to say anything, but you could tell he was hurt at the beginning of the year. And then the Saints blew him out, and they gave him a pass, and I gave him a pass too because it's the beginning of the year and Cam Newton looked hurt.
Yeah.
And then this past time we played them, they were real hot. They already had them over us in the power rankings. They had them, and then we beat them by a lot. And they say it was just off game. So I feel like sometimes they play inconsistently.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You're saying the media is overprotective of the Panthers and making excuses for them? Is that what you're saying?
Sometimes they do. I feel like it, and I feel like it's because of Cam Newton. The whole team depends on how he plays.
Right.
Because I feel like he breathes life into that whole team. Because you can tell. Because when he's off, the whole team's off.
Right. And as I say that, yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I can't stand the guy. I gotta be honest with you, and it is hard for me to root for him because he's like one of the players I root against most of the time. But doggone it, we need their help, and so it's one of those weird situations where you got to root for this. You know, it's like being in a war where you got to root for, you got to ally with a country because you have a similar enemy. Yeah. But as soon as this game is done and they've done their favor for us, I'll be rooting against them hard. But this week, go Cam, go Panthers. Anyway,
I just like this week is just for standings, and I'd much rather play in the Dome than have to go to Carolina or Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I know I'm still scared of the Seahawks too if we have to play them because when it gets to playoff time, they're dangerous, and I know.
Yeah. Well, and we've done well against the Saints in the postseason generally, and it seems to be that whenever we played you in the postseason, it's always been in our house. But I dread the idea of going down to play you guys down to your stadium. We haven't done very well down there either.
We're doing good this year.
Oh, you guys have a great team. That running game is insane, and it's helped Drew Brees a lot. I mean, it's no question a good running game makes every quarterback better, which is why Russell Wilson has got way too much weight on his shoulders. But yeah, I like Drew Brees. Somebody asked me which team do I like besides the Seahawks, and I'm not one of those guys who has a second favorite team. I don't really get how that works, but I can think of the other NFC teams we'd have to go against. One of the teams that bothers me the least would probably be the Saints, mostly because I have a lot of friends down there who I've gotten to know in New Orleans, and they're pretty cool people. I like Drew Brees. I've always respected the guy, and Russell Wilson models his game after him, and so, you know.
Yeah. I mean, they're both two quarterbacks.
Yeah. Drew Brees is amazing. So, but yeah. So unfortunately, I can't.
I'm glad Jimmy Graham's doing good. Honestly.
Well, he's
been doing okay.
It's been a love-hate.
I'm so glad we got longer.
Oh, I know, and there's still some debate whether that was a good move for us or not. You know, it's hard to argue his productivity in the red zone has been fantastic, and you know, without him, who knows whether we win half of these games. He's really good, but at the same time, when we're not in the red zone, he disappears and he vanishes at times, and it's frustrating, you know, that we don't use him more often, and it's hard to know what's the root of that. But he's been great, setting records. What's that?
He's more of a receiving tight end. Because like when y'all first got him, y'all were trying to use him to block, and it just didn't work out because he's not a blocking tight end.
Oh, we saw that in the Dallas game. He tried to do a block, and I could have blocked better than that. But bad knees and bad back and all. But it's you got to use them where the strengths are. But I don't know. I have a feeling.
Y'all's run game too. It's like y'all had the Cowboys game on lock, and you got the first down with the receiving, and then the running game couldn't get it done.
Well, we have not had a running game all season, and so you know it's probably not going to be there the rest of the way. So we're going to have to find other ways to do it. But that's definitely a disadvantage. As I always said, you got to have a run game in the playoffs for so many different reasons. Because you know,
I'm just glad either way we end up with a better record than the Seahawks. Because if it comes down to us two in the NFC Championship, I'd much rather play in the Dome than in CenturyLink. Because CenturyLink, cold and rainy. I have flashbacks to 2013.
Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah. I remember that game very much so. It's where you guys knocked Percy Harvin out of the game, if I recall. But yeah, no, that was a crazy game.
Marcus Colston didn't have to throw it back. He threw it forward.
Yes, on that desperation kickoff return. But I remember Beast Mode. Yeah, that's right. But I remember Beast Mode got that run around the left side that almost felt like it iced it. But yeah, you guys fought to the end. But no, those were happy memories for me, man, because that led to what eventually was our first Super Bowl. So you guys got to be a part of that. And, of course, we had our Beastquake memory that we'll always cherish against you guys back in 2010. Yeah. But
I always close my eyes when I see that on the NFL Network or on ESPN. I just can't.
Oh man, you just gotta accept it, absorb it, feel the pain, and then that way you won't be afraid of it anymore. You can just say, I can take it. I'm a man. I'm not afraid anymore. Anyway.
Just saying, y'all can beat the Rams. If y'all play the Rams in the first round of the playoffs, y'all can beat them. And you know why?
Yeah, tell me.
Because it's at the Rams' home. And that seems to be more of a weak spot than actually going away.
Yeah, those guys have only lost, I think, one game on the road. They're weaker at home. And we beat them at home already. So
even when the Saints played them earlier this year, like we didn't have Marshawn Lattimore, and that just made the whole defense go flat. And like we almost beat them still.
Yeah. Yep. No, we'll see how it plays out, but who knows? Our paths may cross again, but we'll see. One thing at a time here. But we got to get in. You guys are already in, so you don't have to worry that much. But I know you want the division. But yeah, unfortunately, can't wish any luck though.
Yeah, I don't want the Falcons in, so you know what? Go Hawks. Who dat?
I'll go with that. I'll take that. All right, man.
Just do your job, man.
Have fun this weekend, and we'll talk about it after this weekend, and have a fun conversation about the playoff scenarios. All right. Appreciate it, man. Happy holidays. All right. Let's keep this running here. Let's go to the 775. I believe this is Johnny. What's up? Is this Johnny?
Yeah. What's going on, man? It's Scopalele.
Oh, this is Copalele. Okay, all right. Now I'm connecting the dots. Cool, man.
Yeah.
Copalele, always active on NorbCam. Where are you from, anyway? Where's this area code?
Yeah, well, I'm from actually from Washington, but my work is in Nevada right now.
Okay.
And so I'm just like fly back and forth, but I'm from Port Townsend, up there.
Okay, all right. So.
Yeah, so I'm actually on my way to Seattle right now. But anyway.
You going to the game?
I have a question, man.
Are you going to the game? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you are? All right. Good for you. It's going to be a fun one. Yeah, what's on your mind?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, yeah. But anyway, I guess you mentioned most of this stuff about Earl. I just felt so betrayed because I've always seen him as one of the leaders in our team. He's a marquee player. To do that in public, I mean, oh my God, like I couldn't get over it, Norb.
I know a lot of fans.
Wow.
I know a lot of fans having that same reaction, but it's not as shocking to me because it's not the first time that I've heard little hints from Earl that he's not sure about his future here. There was another time when Softy, one of the 950 KJR Seattle sports radio stations, interviewed him and was asking him about what he thought about his future here in Seattle, and he wouldn't say that he sees himself retiring as a Seahawk, or that you know how you talk to Russell and he sounds like he's pretty much going to live here and be an old man here and play here for another 30 years or whatever.
Right.
You don't really get that from Earl, and I don't know if that's because he doesn't necessarily want to, or if there's something we don't know about, or if it's just simply him being the way that the business is. Because the reality is, team loyalty only goes as far as the team is willing to keep you. So.
Correct.
That may be out of his control. So, I'd like to think though that, I know he was watching the Cam Chancellor contract situation very carefully, and they took care of him. And I think they took care of him in a lot of ways so that they could show some goodwill that they'll take care of Earl Thomas when it's his turn. But unfortunately, when you do that, look what happened to Chancellor. Hopefully he's back next year because he's one of my favorite players. But right now, that contract deal that they signed, guaranteeing him some $20-something million, if he does not come back to play next year, because that was like a 3-year deal, and if he plays only the rest of this year, that's actually Seattle loses out on that deal because they would have ended up paying him a bunch of money and getting not the return for it. That's the danger of signing later older players to high contract deals. But I think Earl is one of the key guys. Him and Wagner. I think you got to keep those guys together because they're, to me, like they're the core.
You, man, because yeah, exactly. That's my point. It's like they're the LOB, the marquee player of Seattle. When I think of Seattle, I think of Cam. I think of Russell. I think of Richard. I mean, my God, I just can't get over it, Norb. I mean, it's like, oh my God, not Earl. I would expect some Peter Rich or Lockett, but not Earl. Jesus Christ, he's like.
Well, you got to look at it too, though, man.
Part of that team, man.
But remember, it's the same way that that's why I didn't feel any real anger when Beast Mode talked about coming out of retirement to play for the Raiders. I know some people didn't like it, but it didn't bother me because you know his history. You know that he's an Oakland guy. He grew up
right.
wanting to be with that team, and the fact that he had this one chance to play in Oakland for the final year, I could understand why he would go and do that. And with Earl, it's the same thing. You know, he wasn't like he was going to the Patriots saying, "Hey, go hire me," for no reason other than like, I want to play for you. It's like he's a Texas guy, and he said so in his interview. He was very frank about it. But he also explained too that he did say he wants to be here. He said he hopes. He likes playing here. He hopes to stay here. And most of the news places don't show that part of the interview. But he did say that. And he just said, if I get kicked to the curb, that's the other team I would want to play for. So I'm sure he regretted saying it to where it was caught on camera. But I think, in the end, though, don't take it as like he's asking to be traded. I think he's just having a little light fun with it, and at the same time being kind of real. But normally we're not normally privy to it.
It's just the way he went about it.
I agree. I wish it just didn't happen. I wish it didn't happen either. But I'd only be concerned if it looked like his play on the field was reflective of a guy who's not showing the effort or they didn't care. But he's playing lights out. He was a big part of why we won that game.
Exactly.
So
it makes sense.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't think he's losing any more effort because of that. So I don't think you want to tie those things together. If his play is good, then that's all that matters. And all that other stuff is like the business side, which more or less I think we don't want to know about the business side of it because it wouldn't make us all too happy. So you don't want to know how the hot dog is made. You don't want to know how the sausage is made. You just want to eat it and enjoy it. And don't show me the machinery that turns a pig into a hot dog. Just show me the hot dog, all right? So it's kind of like that. You just have to kind of know that these things happen,
All right, man.
So,
thank you. Hey, Norb, thanks for taking my call. Before I let you go, I don't want to take too much of your time. Merry Christmas to your family. And I just want to say a big shout-out to Slida. I know we're hoping that they lose, but, I love Slida. So, hey, David, peace out. All right, bye. Thanks, Norb.
Thanks for calling, man. Yeah, David was actually supposed to come on tonight. He had a work situation that came up, and that's why he wasn't able to join in the conversation. I was looking forward to actually doing a little pre-game trash talk / collab discussion about these games coming up, but unfortunately couldn't make it. So who knows? We might be able to do it. We might have to do it after the fact though next week. But anyway, thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Let's keep this going. A new caller over here, calling from the 407. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yes, you're on with NorbCam. Who's this?
It's Brendan from Orlando.
Brendan?
Yeah.
From Orlando. All right, what's going on, man? What's on your mind this week?
I was wondering, what Seahawks team do you think that we're going to see on Sunday versus the Cardinals? Do you think it's going to be the team we saw against the Eagles or against the Rams?
I don't think it's going to be the team we saw against the Rams, mostly because the team we saw against the Rams, one, we had no KJ Wright, and we had a shell of Bobby Wagner, and it just showed after watching the Dallas game how important those two are to this defense. They are such a huge part. And watching Bobby Wagner go sideline to sideline, taking on Ezekiel Elliott, I saw that this was a guy who was more back to his pre-injury form. And so, that makes a huge difference. So I don't think we're going to have the same issues that we did against the Rams. And the Rams game was just an anomaly of a lot of bad stuff all happening at the same time. I mean, it was a perfect storm of crap, to be honest with you. And it's like an avalanche that you got so buried early that there was no getting out of it, and it was too late before you even got your feet underneath you. It was a fluky game, unfortunately. We had to have it against them as the worst time to have a loss. But I don't think we play another game like that. So now, that said, my only concern, again, is on offense. So far, we have not shown that the offense has turned things around and been productive like it had been kind of 3, 4, 5 games ago. So we need the Philadelphia type of offense to show up, and that's really what's going to make or break this game. I think we lost that game against the Rams because we had bad, defense against the run. We had really horrible special teams coverage, but that was very different against the Cowboys. We had really good punt coverage, just the things that we normally do. We just didn't do well against the Rams. I think if we go back to doing that, the offense just has to play clean and execute and just limit the freaking penalties. And if we just have a modest, run game where we can have a guy running for over 60 yards, that's not much to ask. That would help. And then Russell's just got to be a little bit more decisive and not hold the ball so long. I think I don't know if he's gun shy, he's afraid of turning the ball over, but he's just holding the ball a little too long. And he's just got to just take it and throw it. Trust his receivers a little bit. And I think we'll get a lot more first downs in the process. But yeah, and I'm confident we will play well. I think the Cardinals will give us will be a challenge. They always are. But I think we will best them in this contest. What do you think? Do you have thoughts otherwise? Thoughts to the contrary?
I think that the Cardinals are going to give us a scare a little bit, but I do think we'll pull it out in a close game on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. So I think, it's going to be one of those nerve-wracking, nail-biting situations that scare us into near defibrillator heart resuscitation type of existence. But that's Seahawk football for you, though. So yeah. We're going to have to contain, Larry Fitzgerald is going to be, he's going to be doing his thing. But, we just got to be careful. That secondary is pretty dangerous. Their defense is pretty dangerous, so we just got to be smart with the ball. Turnovers could be the thing that could turn this game one way or the other. Just like we did against Cowboys. Without those turnovers, we don't win that game. So we don't want to do the opposite either. We just got to keep the turnovers margin in our favor.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what we got to do, man. And then we got to get some help from the Panthers. I hope the Panthers play their A game, or Atlanta just completely chokes in this final game, because we need both those things to happen for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, man. Any other thoughts? Thoughts on the Earl Thomas situation?
I'm not really worried about it, because he said that if Seattle kicks me to the curb, he didn't actually say that he wants to go to Dallas. He said that's the only other place he would want to play other than Seattle. So, yeah, the way he said it, he kind of said when Seattle kicks me to the curb, and then later he kind of said if they kick me to the curb. It was just interesting that he would even say it that way, because it almost makes him sound like he's thinking they're gonna. So unless he's telling us something, hinting at something we don't already know. But listening to Pete Carroll today talking about it, he sure sort of laughed it off like it was just not a big deal. And I'd like to think that's the case, because we've seen so many controversies turn out to be nothing. Like, remember last year, all the buzz about Richard Sherman's going to be traded? Remember how big that story was? Oh, yeah, the GM is shopping him around to be traded. He's going to be gone. And look, he's still around, and he probably will be back next year as well. So there's a lot of stuff that just gets thrown out there for fun. It sounds good on a clickbait for news stories and whatnot, but I think a lot of it's things getting blown out of proportion. So I'm not gonna worry about that. We still got he's still under contract for a year, and they got plenty of time to get things settled. So I'm expecting after the end of the season, we'll see some news flash. Earl Thomas extended for another 2-3 years or something, and he'll retire as Seahawk. That would be my ideal. So. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. Thanks. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to you. Hawks. Yeah, go Hawks. All right. Let's see. Let's take it from another Washington call here. Let's take it to the 360. What's up? Who's this?
Hello?
Hello. You're on with NorbCam. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
This is Noah from Michigan.
Oh, Noah from Michigan. I thought you had a Washington number. You got a Washington cell number or something?
Yeah, I moved to Michigan.
Okay, all right. Yeah, man. So, what's going on? I'm sure there's a lot of depressed Lions fans out there. They did us a favor this past weekend.
Yeah, I'm on some. My friend that's a Lions fan's on the phone with me right now.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yes. Sad time for the Lions fans, but good times for Seattle right now. So, what's your thoughts on the current situation?
I feel we're in a good situation, except for I think the Panthers should win this. Because if they win this, they still have a very good chance. We're probably gonna make the playoffs. We won't make the playoffs, but the Panthers want to get their division title, so they're still gonna fight for the win.
Yeah, for sure. Every team's got something to fight for, and which makes it exciting that they're all intertwined together. But yes, the Saints want the division, Panthers want the division, Atlanta's trying to get in, we're trying to get in, and it's all coming to this crazy climactic clash on Sunday. But yeah, I agree. What do you think? What are you most concerned about against this Cardinals team? Are we overlooking the Cardinals here, given that they really got nothing to play for, except being spoiled?
I think we should worry about Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, he's the one who will tear apart our team single-handedly. I think they really don't have a running back anymore with. But last week they looked pretty good against the Giants. So.
Yeah, well, the Giants. A lot of teams look good against the Giants.
Yeah.
But that's not to take away anything from the Cardinals, because I mean, they didn't make it easy on us when we played them down there. So anything can happen, and they have been historically good here in CenturyLink Field. So we're gonna have to play well, and just can't make stupid mistakes.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on the Earl Thomas going up to Jason Garrett?
Well, we talked about it. We've talked about it at length with a couple of different callers, and I've just said, that I just think people just got to not read too much into it, because he's a Texas guy. He wants to play here in Seattle, but in case things don't work out, that's the one team you want to go to. And it's kind of like beast mode going to the Raiders, So I think he's being honest, and I think it's just unfortunate that everybody heard it. But outside of that, I think from what I've heard from a number of interviews, it's not unusual for players to talk to other teams, players and coaches and whatnot, when they know that there's a possibility that they might be a free agent sooner than later. And if there's a team they really like, they have conversations like that. So it's just unfortunate we had to hear about it. But I think Earl, like I said with the last caller, as long as his play on the field is what it's supposed to be, and he is, that's all you ask for. Everything else is just side business stuff that we really don't need to know about and really not need to worry about, because it's not beyond our control. What you're concerned about is if you watch a player go out there and he doesn't look like he cares, or is creating problems because he's causing distractions with the team during a game that's resulting in negative plays and things like that. You just got to worry about what they do on the field. And from what I see, he's giving it 110% every single time. So, that's all I see. And so no matter whatever team he's on, he's going to give 110%. If he gets traded to the Cowboys, then he'll play and give 110% to them. But as long as he's a Seahawk, I have no doubt that the effort is completely there. So I'm not worried about it. It'll blow over, and they'll re-sign him in the offseason, and then everyone will just laugh about, I remember that time everybody thought he was going to go to the Cowboys. Or are we silly? So I think we'll be fine. It'll be all old news. No news.
Yeah.
So,
how do you feel about our defense performance against the Cowboys? I feel they did pretty good against that offense and their offensive line.
How our defense did against them? Yeah. What I really liked, I said at the top of the show, was I really liked the scheme that Chris Richard implemented, which was dialing up some corner blitzes, at least 3 or 4 of them, if I recall, to get pressure on the quarterback, and they got home almost every time. Shaquille Griffin jumping over a guy to get his first blitz and first sack of his career. So, I mean, that really worked. And I think we just got to kind of do that just to kind of mix it up, catch him off guard, because, you know, we hadn't been getting pressure on the quarterback the last 2 games. And I think they decided, you know, we need to do something different to rattle him a little bit. And that worked. So it's a risk, but it was a risk that paid off. So I think I'd like to see some creativity like that as well as on offense, just because we can't just beat people straight up in a normal fashion where you go, we'll line up and just grind the ball and push it down your throats. We cannot do that. And we can't line up either on defense and just say our front four will take you all down. We're not built that way right now with the people that we got. So we got to kind of get a little more creative. And I like that, the way that they were going about doing it. So yeah, I liked what I saw in that regard. But man, the defense was good, opportunistic, got turnovers, but the offense, that thing's got to turn around this Sunday, because it's just been on a negative track the last 3 games. Really has not been good. How's that?
Ever since after Myers, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. So luckily we're still alive, and I still believe in Russell. You know, everybody goes through some tough times, but no better time to get it right than right now. So yeah, no, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun Sunday. Just the 3 hours of crazy, stressful, exciting ups and downs I expect it to be. But yeah, it's going to be a fun game. Can't wait. All right, man. Well, thanks for calling, though. I appreciate it.
Yep.
All right.
Go
we'll
Hawks.
Talk. Yep. Go Hawks. All right. Keeping it going. Appreciate you guys' patience out there. Let me go here to the 253. What's up? Who's this and where you calling from?
This is Eddie from Tacoma.
Eddie from Tacoma. What's on your mind, man? How's it going? Happy holidays.
Hey, you too. Yeah, I'm glad we got our second win in Jerry Jones World on Sunday.
Yep. Yeah, we had a pretty good record down there in that stadium recently. I like it.
Yeah. Hey, happy holidays to you and your family.
Thank you. Same to yours.
Yeah. So for this Sunday, I feel we Seahawks are going to win this one because for that they don't have Carson Palmer, and it's been hard because I think the Cardinals quarterbacks have been switching up. They've been using Blaine Gabbert and Drew Stanton.
Yep.
Yeah. But the main person you have to watch out is Larry Fitzgerald.
Clearly.
Yeah, because I know everybody's like, can't have him running all over us because that's really would hurt us.
Right. Yeah, he's kind of like he reminds me of he's a lot like Doug Baldwin now. You know, really good slot receiver, good possession receiver. He's not. I don't worry about him so much as just going up and down the field and just getting hundreds of yards or something. But he's the kind of guy that when it's like 3rd and 7, he'll run that route and get you 8 yards. You know, just keep the possession going because he's got such good hands, good route running. Even though he's not as fast as he used to be, but he's still very dangerous. You know, part of their arsenal. But yeah, I just think without the quarterback, a true legit quarterback over there, number one, that we should be able to limit any explosive plays, and if we can keep them contained to where we just bend but don't break, give our offense a chance, give them good field position, that's how we're going to win this game. We got to have our defense tilt the field and keep the ball on a short field for Seattle, and I think that's going to help us big time. Oh yeah, and we haven't talked about Blair Walsh. Blair Walsh has not been in the conversation the last 2 games, mostly because he hasn't really had to kick a lot of field goals. But something tells me he's going to be needed this week, and I just hope when he does, and he's called upon to deliver, that he does it, because we've kind of not had to put the Blair Walsh blame out there. In fact, it was Dallas who had their field goal troubles that did them in fact, and it was nice to have someone else's kicker fail on them instead of ours.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that too. Nobody's last two games, nobody's been mentioning Blair Walsh. Like,
yeah, because he hasn't.
The last two games.
Well, because he hasn't had to do anything. But he's been good. He's got the extra points have been hitting, so he's been doing his job. But they've been kind of low pressure situations. So it's those.
I think the last two. Yeah, the last two missed field goals from Dan Bailey is. I think he must have picked up from Blair Walsh because he was like two straight. The final two ones that he missed.
Yeah, and Bailey, man, he's been one of the most accurate kickers in all of the NFL, until the last two, man. So it just goes to show any kicker can screw up and blow it. So Blair Walsh isn't alone, but I have a feeling he's going to have to deliver this week, some way, somehow. So.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to have to show up this week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, offensively, he'll have to show up with just like. But the problem, our problem is like we still need to learn to put some points in the first quarter.
Absolutely.
Got to do like a much better job of protecting Russell.
Yep.
Defense has been doing good.
Yep, much better this week.
Oh, those two interceptions, or was that three in that game?
Two interceptions and a punch-out fumble caused by Byron Maxwell. So yeah.
Oh, okay.
Pick six is a very beautiful thing. Nothing like instant points. The offense doesn't even have to do anything.
That was pretty funny. See Justin Coleman getting that pick six, and he jumped in the Salvation Army bucket.
It did. I mean, the problem with that, of course, is that we got dinged 15 yards. We had to kick the ball from the 20-yard line, which fortunately, I don't think it ended up causing biting us in the butt, but. Yeah, it was funny, and I'm glad it didn't cause us an issue. But man, if it had, it would have been like, man, you should have been goofing around and jumping in that Salvation Army bucket, because then that cost us field position. So luckily it didn't, and we can laugh about it now. But yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, and not to mention, I think it was the couple pass interferences on us.
Oh, terrible calls.
Terrible. It's like. And I was yelling at the team oh, come on, that's that had to be on their offense. I was like,
oh yeah,
that could have been on
definitely
any of us.
Definitely, I was beside myself in my video. You can watch my reaction. I could not believe it. I thought that was one of the worst calls I've seen all year. I haven't been to your away bash since the Giants won. Yeah,
because of work.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll do another one, because if we make the playoffs, good chance we're going to be doing another party here at Emerald Downs Casino. Speaking of which, it's a good time to plug them.
I got a good feeling we're going to make the playoffs, because I predict the Panthers will beat the Falcons this Sunday. And I saw how they switched the time to from 10 a.m. to 1 o'clock, I believe.
Right. Just to make it interesting for everybody involved. It's a good move, for sure. But, yeah, no, I hope you do.
I'll have to be, but I'll be checking scores, keeping up with our game and their game, too.
Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun Sunday for sure. But, yeah, so I should plug Emerald Downs right here. Just well, thank you for calling, man. I appreciate it, Eddie, and let's talk again after this game, and hopefully with some good, positive conversation, just like this week has been. Hope to see you out in one of these parties one of these times.
All right.
All right, man.
All right. Go Hawks.
So, yes, I got to mention Emerald Downs. Emerald Downs right here. They've been great. Been throwing, since the Giants games, hosting every away game party down there. It's been a blast. We gave away a 4K TV on Sunday and 2 tickets to the Cardinals game. And they will be doing giveaways even on this Sunday. I won't be there, but they're still doing prizes and having the games being shown. So you guys can go check it out if you can't go to the game. That's a good place to watch it. And if we do manage to make it to the playoffs, I will be hosting the next playoff game, which will be an away game. So I'll be hosting it there again. And I should tell you also, it's already been set that I will be hosting a Super Bowl party there as well. So that's already going to happen. So Super Bowl party at Emerald Downs Casino. It's going to be fun. Lots of great prizes. And hopefully, by some miracle, maybe Seattle can be in that game. We'll see. But anyway, let's keep this thing rolling. let's go to the 509. I believe this is the east side of the state. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Nita in Spokane. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, it's Nita from Spokane. Merry Christmas to you.
Hey, did you get that picture? Did you see the picture that I sent you on Facebook?
I did, yes. Thank you. It was...
Isn't that amazing?
That was really cool. Just so for the audience, Nita was so kind enough to refer somebody for our 12s Helping 12s holiday grant giveaway, and one of her friends or families that she nominated received one, and they had a very nice Christmas because of that. So thank you for the referral, and I'm glad somebody got to benefit from one of our 12s Helping 12s holiday grants. That was very touching. Great to see.
She was in absolute tears and asked me to thank all of you, Mark, Sarah, Christy, Bob, everybody that, on the selection committee that chose her for my nomination, and she was just baffled. I mean, for her to receive that, she almost just fell apart. And I told her, well, don't do that. Just get yourself to Freddy's and get it taken care of. Don't fall apart.
Well, I'm glad. That's why we do it, and it's always nice to hear the stories afterwards of seeing the people's reactions and how things have worked out for them. So I'm very pleased about that. So thank you for sharing that with us and the pictures.
It was awesome. I mean, I've just been smiling from ear to ear. But on another subject, dude, I feel your pain about having to root for Cam Newton, because I like him as much as you do. I mean, it's grueling to even have to root for him for a day, but for a week?
Right. I know. I can't stand the guy. It's just,
No, me either. I mean, there was a cartoon on Facebook of him earlier holding a cup of Falcon stew.
Is that
he's
right?
already bragging, and yeah.
Yep, that's Cam Newton for you. He was the biggest show off when everything's great, and then as soon as things go south, he's like a little kid pouting in the corner. But we need him
pouting in the corner. He pretty much throws himself on the ground like a 2-year-old and kicks his feet and flails his arms everywhere. And
yeah, unfortunately, we need to see the show off, cocky, arrogant version of him this Sunday, because doggone it, we need their help. Painful as it is to say.
He's always like that, though.
I know.
And what is it that he wears? You know how his jersey is so tight? What is it? Does he have a body brace on or something? Or
oh, well, that's actually pretty common. Most quarterbacks, they have rib protectors on there. And so that's why you see that armor that's on their midsection, just so that a lot of times quarterbacks are in a vulnerable position when they got to throw, their arms extended, their rib cage exposed, and if they get hit, that's a very dangerous spot to be hit. So a lot of them have those rib protectors on there, but he's a big dude. I mean, that guy is built like a tight end or a linebacker. So I mean, you don't look at him and think of him as a frail guy, but even he gets hurt too, so he ain't no Superman, even though he believes he is.
I mean, I would never ever wish for another player to be hurt, because I wouldn't want anybody to do that to our guys.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't wish for injury on anybody.
I've been trying to figure out forever what that is, because that's all you can see through his jersey.
Right.
But Wilson never looks like that.
Yeah, no, I think they all have it. It's just for some reason on him, it's much more prominent. Maybe because he's so big, so long that you just see it. But anyway, yeah, no, we gotta get it done this week. We got to get it done, and Panthers got to get it done. And man, if we get in, it's going to be exciting.
I think it's gonna be a blowout.
Really? You think we're gonna blow out the Cardinals?
I think we're gonna blow out the Cards. I don't like the Cards anyway.
Yeah, no, I don't either. Did you hear what Bruce Arians said about this game coming up?
Oh,
you didn't see the video? You didn't see the video clip?
I think.
Oh, he was in the locker room talking to his team, saying that CenturyLink Field is our home field, and that they're going to kick our you-know-whats. So.
Oh yeah, they're going to kick our butts, huh?
Yep. That's what he was saying. That's what he said.
On our turf. On our turf.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think there'll be a beastquake going on again on Sunday.
Well, Beastquake is going to have to be carried by somebody other than someone named Marshawn Lynch. But I would love to see that, since right now we got no running game to speak of. So maybe Mike Davis has some kind of incredible run. I'd love to see that. Or J.D. McKissick, gets the call. Or Thomas Rawls. I'd love to see Thomas Rawls score a touchdown, because that little guy, he is so hyper. He gets like a 10-yard run, and he acts like he just won the Super Bowl. So I'd love to see him do something crazy, just so I could see the celebration, because I just think the guy would like explode like the Incredible Hulk or something if he did something that amazing. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping Thomas Rawls scores like a 45, 50-yard touchdown run, just so I could see the celebration. That would be awesome.
Did you see that he was at Pioneer Square, Pioneer Center, handing out presents, dressed up as Santa, handing out presents?
No, I didn't.
Yesterday or the day before?
No, I didn't know that. Really, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll have to send you the link. Yeah, that is really cool. It was either yesterday or the day before.
Well, it couldn't have been the day before.
Christmas or Christmas Eve.
Couldn't have been the day before. They would have been in Dallas. Unless he was doing it in Dallas. I don't think so.
Yesterday.
Must have been after the fact, or maybe they did that in advance and released the clip yesterday. But anyway, that's cool. It's always great when you hear about the players doing something positive, giving back and all that. So, no, I like Thomas Rawls. I've always been a fan of his, and he just doesn't seem to get the opportunities. But he made the most of his I forgot what day it is already, on Sunday, because he had an amazing. A nice 15-yard run there that was pretty key to one of their scores. So
wasn't it Coleman? Yep. Wasn't it Coleman that jumped in the kettle?
It was Coleman. He got the pick six and jumped in the kettle. Yes, it was.
You have to love it though when they jump in there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's the second time it's happened. The first time was Ezekiel Elliott did last year, and I don't think he even got penalized for it. But we got a penalty because we were using a prop, apparently. So something tells me if it was a Dallas Cowboy jumping in there, they would have thrown a flag. But anyway, that's all right. Luckily, no harm, no foul. It was a good laugh, and I think the Salvation Army should write a nice Christmas card. Hopefully they gave a nice Christmas card to Justin Coleman, because they just gave him a bunch of nice publicity by jumping into that kettle. So they should just be smart. They should just have it out there, and then every time somebody jumps into it, it's like they donate. Some sponsor donates $50,000 and makes it a big publicity stunt. That's what they should do. NFL
that's
should
the
be
way
all
to
over that.
do it. You gotta. Yeah, I'm telling you, you need to work for the Hawks.
I mean, if they're gonna let guys do sack races and bowling pin simulations on the field, but they won't let them jump into the kettle. I mean, come on. If you're gonna do celebrations, let them just celebrate. So anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Let them live. It's like penalty after penalty after penalty. Really, come on.
Well,
Seattle, stupid stuff.
Yeah, Seattle just has a knack for getting penalties, whether they deserve it or not. Sometimes they deserve it, sometimes they don't. But anyway,
speaking of penalties, like the guy the caller before me, I was going to say something to you about how about that Walsh? Our kicker made the field goals on Sunday.
Well,
Cowboys didn't.
Yeah, I think it was all extra.
I was like, oh my God, he made it.
Yeah, I think he never had to kick a field goal. I think he had to kick all extra points. But the point is, he made his kicks, and there's choked in the final 2 kicks that they needed him to keep them in the game. So, yep. No, it was nice to not have Blair Walsh's name mentioned at all in the relevance of this game. He just quietly did his business, and nobody knew the difference. So that's always nice. But I have a feeling he's going to have to kick at least 1 or 2 on Sunday, and he better make it, doggone it. I don't want to be talking about – I don't want to even say Blair Walsh's name on Sunday. It just
no.
I want to be talking about something else, and mostly about getting into the playoffs. So, yep, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time. I think I'm going to be very stressed
I
out.
think it's going to be a blowout. I really do.
I hope you're right, because we don't have enough blowouts in this town. You know, we're always too busy chewing our fingernails off and stressing out and, you know, having heart attacks watching these games. So,
Geez, I'm in Spokane, and I'm over here. You know, I don't bite my nails, but I'm over here like, ugh. But
Yeah.
Sunday was a good game.
it was a good game. It wasn't
Like
pretty.
the game before that, when we were losing to the Rams at halftime, I went downstairs and went outside. 'Cause I live on the 5th floor of an 8-story building. It's like, I need to go outside.
Yeah,
I
no,
need
that
to
was.
get some air
that
before I
was-
start screaming at the TV even louder.
Yeah, that was uncharted, ugly territory. But hopefully, we won't see a game like that anytime soon. We just want to flush that out of our memory. So
I can go 10 years without seeing another game like that.
I agree. That's no business having one of those ever again. Unfortunately, had to be witness to that. But well, hey Nita, it's always good to hear from you. Thank you for the call. Thank you for the 12s helping 12s referral and sharing all the information about it afterwards. That was really touching, and we do appreciate it.
Thank you all so much, and for everybody who donated, you know, to make it possible for you guys to get the grants for the families.
Yes,
It's just
absolutely.
awesome.
Yep, it was great, and it is because of the generosity of the 12s out there. So thank you guys for all those
Good
who
stuff, good
helped
people.
out. Yep. Well, thanks, Nita. I'm sure we'll talk again soon, hopefully
Okay, Norb.
next week with some more good cheer as we start off kicking up the new year.
I'll be watching you on Sunday with your live stream from the clink.
All right, I will be bringing it. So thank you as always, and yeah, have a happy New Year. We'll all have a happy New Year, hopefully, after that game on Sunday.
You too. We got it. We got it. Don't worry.
All right.
We got it.
Okay,
We
all
got
right.
it.
Okay, I'm counting on it. Thanks,
Bye.
Nita. Go Hawks. All right. Oh, man. Let's see. Let's go to the... All right, let's go to the 509. What's up? Who's this and where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, NorbCam?
What's up, man?
yeah,
Who's this? Who's this and where you calling from? Sorry, where are you calling from and who's this?
Seahawks Briseño, calling from the Tri-Cities area.
Dion from Tri-Cities, right? What's on your mind, man?
Hey, just want to talk about Sunday's game real quick. There was a couple plays, and I rewatched that game a couple times. There's a couple plays that Zeke missed. Jason Witten wide open, and he, especially like that interception that Justin Coleman did. Witten was right. I mean, he was open for at least a 40-yard gain. I mean, that could have been a bad play, but it seems like Zeke just didn't. His head wasn't in the game, or at least our front four gave him some trouble. But if we want to be in the playoffs, and let's say we do, and we beat the Cardinals, let's take care of business first and let the rest take care of itself. We got to be better in offense, because I think Mike Davis rushed for 15. He had 15 rushes for 25 yards. That's not very good.
You think? Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible. So I think if we want to talk about players, we have to get better at the offensive position. So my thing is, what do you think we have to do that? Obviously, it's the offensive line, but what do you think?
Let's see. Well, I think I'm on your first point about Dak Prescott missing guys downfield. It's just like Russell. There are times when he misses guys downfield. There are guys who are open, and you go, why did he hit him? And a lot of times I think you attribute it to the pressure. And the bottom line is, if you get to quarterbacks early, get them thinking about it. Russell's thinking about it all the time because he's always under pressure. So he oftentimes bails even when there's no pressure because he feels like it's going to come. I think that's why they often miss receivers downfield, because they're too busy worrying about the pressure, or the pressure's in front of them so they can't step into a throw and hit him. And I think that's what happened to Prescott. We did get pressure early, combination of the corner blitzes that they did and then the front four kind of harassing him. And I think that's what, led to him being a little off on those throws. So we got to do that again in this game, because when we don't get pressure like we did in Jacksonville or against the Rams, they just pick us apart, and that's the case pretty much with any quarterback. Even a so-so quarterback can be really outstanding if you give him all the time in the world. So I think that's why we made Dak, Prescott not look so good. As far as from the offensive standpoint, I think we've got to, in watching some of those run plays, sometimes it looks like everybody's blocked up really well, and then there's one guy who misses theirs, and it's the one guy who gets through that blows the whole play up. And so if you just can get it to where everybody's doing their job, we would probably have a lot more success. But it just seems like there's always that one piece that just didn't quite get done right, and then it ruins the whole thing. So maybe it's getting a little bit better, because I think in the beginning of the season we had multiple failures, like 2 or 3 guys getting through. So maybe it's improving now where we're having, instead of 3 guys failing, only 1 person's failing, but clearly it's still not enough. So bottom line is they got to execute. I think every play is designed so that if you do your job right, it should succeed, at least on a minimal level. Problem with what we've been having not success, but we've been going backwards. We've been having negative yardage, -2, -3, -7 on a sack. That's just unacceptable. I understand 0, maybe 2 yards. That's kind of like not good, but it's horrible to be going backwards, And that happened against the Rams. It happened in this past game. So, we've got to get positive. They always say keep on schedule, and that's where you're getting positive yardage. Sure. And it doesn't have to be this. It seemed like what started happening is that Russell started just chucking the ball downfield. It almost looked like out of desperation. Started doing that in the Jacksonville game. And we just got to go back to these. If it's 3rd and 5, try to get 6 or 7. You don't need to get 25. And I think they started doing it the later part of the Dallas game. They started checking down to the running back, and it was working. They get like 7 or 8 yards, and it's like a really good run play. So I think I'd like to see them do that more, because when you start doing that, that starts to open up other things. Because if they leave the running back check down in the middle open, they're going to have to start moving those linebackers up to cover for that, and then that's going to open up something for some of the receivers on those crossing routes. So I liked that we were doing that, and I want to see more of that. I want to see more screenplays, not bubble screens, but real screenplays to the running back, especially if the defensive line starts bringing in pressure aggressively. Because every time you get a really pass-hungry defensive line, the best antidote for that is a good screenplay. So I'd like to see Seattle run that a little more often, especially if they're having trouble keeping people out of the backfield where Wilson's under pressure all the time. So there's solutions to be had out there, and they've done it before. Now they just have to do it a little more consistently. Anyway, that's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, and I was pretty, you said the bubble screen. It seems like it's Darrell Bevel's favorite play to go to.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily need to play. You know what I mean?
It seems to work about 25% of the time, by the way.
Yeah.
It has to. The blocking has to be perfect, and if they get it, it gets maybe like 8 yards. But man, how many times have we seen it where they go like -1 or 2? The bubble screen is just. I don't need to see a lot of bubble screens. Those are just like, I see it as like, oh God, here we go. Uh-oh. So, yeah, not a big fan of it.
Yeah, well Mike Davis did, he is a good receiving running back, and I like what he did. I think he broke Sean Lee's ankle, not literally, but I'm just saying, I know
the play you're talking about. Yeah, he made a move on him.
Yeah.
Juked left, moved right, and Sean Lee was grasping for air.
Yeah, and it was like, whoa, that was a good play. And I think if we keep on doing plays like that, it would make us better. I noticed one thing in the second half, we were getting rid of the ball a lot faster in these like slant plays, these little chuck plays, these check downs. But But as far as the defensive side, man, I'm so proud of these little rookies who are just backing up Richard Sherman and Cam Chancellor. This Brandon McDougal guy's actually pretty dang good.
Yeah, he's good.
And I'm impressed with his play. But as far as I could put the dagger on things, but you know what? I'm gonna enjoy this rest of the season and see what else happens if we make the playoffs. I'm like, hey, let's do it. Let's try to get all the way. But we're in for a bad off season, I could say.
There's gonna be some changes, I think. We're going to definitely see some players change over, some that we're not going to like, some that we're going to like, and there might be some coaching changes. We just can't have an offense like this for 2 years in a row. I mean, that's just unacceptable to not be able to have a running game. I mean, somebody's got to take responsibility for that, and something's got to change. So I feel like offensive coaching change somewhere is going to happen, but we'll see. It hasn't happened yet, but, something's got to change. But for now, we'll worry about what's in front of us, and hopefully things go our way, and we're talking about the playoffs next week. If so, it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I got one more thing, Norb.
Yeah.
I was behind you in the game, and what was it, against Houston?
Yeah, that game was awesome.
Yeah, I was right. I was sitting like a couple rows behind you, and I was with my girlfriend, and we were watching the game with a couple of our friends from Tri-Cities. And I'm actually from Seattle still, but I moved over here because this is where my girlfriend lives and this and that. So, I didn't realize it, but man, you put in a lot of work because you have two. I thought you only had one screen, but you got two screens. I was like, man, this guy has got a handful right now.
Well, thank you. Yeah, not too many people see. Yeah. Yeah, not too many people. Yeah, well, yeah, not too many people unless they're around me see how I work it. But yeah, I've got basically an iPhone in this hand, and I've got an iPad in this hand, and I'm running. The reason I do that is because I can't broadcast to two places at the same time. I have to have one that sends to YouTube, and the other one streams to Facebook. I wish I could do it in one in just one device, but right now it's not possible. So I run both machines. And it works pretty well. I don't mind holding it. The thing that's frustrating is just the internet and CenturyLink can be just garbage sometimes. So sometimes I can't even get the system online. So that's my struggle. Everything else works great, but the struggle is just trying to get the darn thing to connect to the internet so I can get the live stream going. That's been a problem for a while now. But yeah, thank you. I'm glad you saw that. But it's just I get to reach more people that way, so it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. It's I'm glad people enjoy watching it. So it's pretty cool.
That was awesome.
CenturyLink, CenturyLink, you got to work on your internet. That Wi-Fi sucks. You need to put more transmitters or whatever in there. Do something. I mean, the sponsor's name is CenturyLink, for God's sake. You guys should have some kind of link if you're CenturyLink. Make the link. Anyway.
I was just going to say that.
All right, man. Well, thanks for this. No problem, man. All right, well, let's talk maybe next week, and hopefully we got playoffs on the mind.
All right, man.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you, too. And, go Hawks. All right, let's go to the 973. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, what up, NorbCam? This is James from Jersey.
James from Jersey. What's going on, man?
How's it going, bro?
Hey, man, we're in the hunt. And when you're in the hunt, all is good, man. So it's an exciting week for sure, counting down to New Year's and this game of just epic proportions with 3 teams in the mix, all affecting each other's destinies. How about that?
I know. I was hoping that we'll have a good year, but this is kind of crazy. We've been on a roller coaster.
Oh, it's been a big-time roller coaster, and it's a miracle that we're even still in the mix, but I'll take it at this point. So, but yeah, what do you think, man? What do you think of our chances moving forward here?
I feel like if we can get past this week, and Cam Newton could be cocky Cam, I got a feeling we can make it to the playoffs and we could upset the LA Rams. That's what I think.
Okay. I think we could.
And
I think
feel
we
like
could beat
if
the
we
Rams
can-
too.
Yeah, if we could beat the Rams, now mind you, Minnesota has a terrible ass quarterback. And I feel like he's not going to be ready for a Seattle Seahawks defense, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
We're a different team. We're a different ball game. Not only that, we have a running game coming back. A lot of teams not going to be able to stop us. Maybe
Yeah.
the Vikings, maybe. But other
Right.
teams, I don't think so.
Are you talking about if we can get Chris Carson back into the running game in the playoffs?
Yeah, Chris Carson, Thomas Ross, especially Thomas Ross. I feel like Seattle should just let that guy go. Like, just let him do his thing.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
For whatever reason,
stop giving
they.
it to Steve.
Yeah, I don't know why they've kept him under lock and key for so much of the season. I feel like they just don't want to put him out there. I don't know the deal. It's never been talked about as to why he gets so few touches.
I
But
read a report that they said that he's not a good blocker for Russell Wilson. That's what they're saying. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's true or not.
right, maybe so. Maybe so. I'm sure there's reasons for it, but it's certainly not from a lack of energy. So,
Oh yeah,
you know.
definitely not.
But
I
yes.
feel like these teams are beatable. We beat Philadelphia. They don't have their quarterback. Minnesota Vikings don't have their quarterback. I feel like the Panthers, we beat them before, and they're really not a different team from last year. They only got like a few key pieces, but I feel like we could take them. I feel like what people are forgetting is that Seattle, we lost Richard Sherman. We lost Cam Chancellor. Our defense is not good anymore. We're old. We're not old. We got Justin Coleman. We got Shaq. We got Maxwell. You know what I'm saying? We got Earl Thomas in the backfield. We got Bobby Wagner playing with a chip.
Right.
You know, so I think the only thing we got to worry about is the Fetty. You know, getting those penalties.
Those
Because
false
last
starts
year
and
it
holding
took me out.
calls.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like your optimism, man. I mean, the biggest thing that we've been lacking all year is the run game, and maybe if we can get Chris Carson, our leading receiver from 8 games ago or whatever it is, to come back and be part of this equation. Who knows? We could have new life like no one's seen yet. Because, man, when he was running, it was like, we got a running game and, ankle. So, I think there's a...
That also ruined my fantasy season.
Right. I'm sure you're not the only one. But I know, if he could come back and do what he was doing when he first started, I mean, that would really be a huge boost. But, that's... everything else, I like the way the defense has been rallying together, considering the fact that so many injuries looked like was going to doom this defense. And instead, we've had guys stepping up and guys off the street coming in. Byron Maxwell coming in and playing well. Granted, he's not Richard Sherman, but they've been playing well enough. And again, I blame our failures as of late more on the offense than on the defense. The offense has got to be more consistent because they don't have the excuse of all the injuries. So,
of course not. I think that's what took us out the game when we played against the Rams. That dropped fumble was like, I feel like we was out of it after that. I feel like our defense was doing good, except for that 20-yard run. But if you look at it, our kicker wasn't giving them good field position. So I felt like that kind of threw us out the game. But unlike everything else, I feel like we have a really, 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 really good shot. If we go against the Rams in the playoffs, I feel like Russell Wilson should just take his shot down the field. Like I think we should abandon the running game a little bit, especially going against the Rams. I feel like we should try to up the scoreboard because Jared Goff, first time in the playoffs, he's a rookie. I don't think he's going to be able to handle the playoffs.
Yeah, well, they got to get pressure. I think they got to get pressure on him early, get him kind of shaken up so he can't just stand there and feel comfortable. And I don't think we need to tag long. In fact, we've been doing that a little bit too often, just throwing it up there. But I just think we need to be a little more efficient and consistent, and Russell's got to just trust in his receivers and let the ball go. He's been kind of standing in there a little too long when he doesn't need to be, and just execute the play, trust that the receiver will be there. And I don't know, he's just afraid of turning it over or something, but it's to the detriment to where he's getting sacked one too many times. I think he's just got to get rid of the ball and let it fly, But it doesn't have to go 30 yards downfield. We'll take 10,
Yeah. Do you think he trusts Jimmy Graham, like catching the ball? Like I'm talking about like outside the red zone, because I feel like every time he throws to Jimmy Graham, Jimmy's like afraid to catch it for some reason. Like he's afraid to get hit.
Well, I mean, we've seen that happen, but I also think I've seen that happen, yeah, but he also hasn't had a lot of targets. So I don't think they've tried to get it to him enough. And I don't know if it's because he's just not open or whatever the reason is, but I'm thinking, man, if it's 3rd and 5, that's like a red zone play. Run a play that gets him 6 yards down the field and turn around and throw it to him like they would in the end zone, So I don't understand it yet, why they have such a hard time, but, I think that there's opportunities there, and I think they should get as much use out of Jimmy Graham as they can, and it doesn't have to be only inside the 10-yard line. So, there's plays to be had.
Yeah, that's true. Well, hopefully Jimmy Graham is back next year. If not, I wouldn't mind trading him to Cleveland and getting Josh Gordon. We need a big-time wide receiver. We need a big wide receiver.
Well, there's no trading. There's no trading here because we're past the trading deadline. He's going to walk. The only way we get him back is we either just offer him a deal that he can't take. He's going to go wherever he wants to go. So he's basically up for auction to the highest bidder. So we'll see what Seattle's willing to try to offer him. But I just don't think we're going to pay enough. I think he's going to walk because he's going to go to whoever's going to pay him $10 million or more a year to play. I don't think Seattle can afford that. We'll see. For right now, let's get our mileage. We paid for them already. Let's use them. It's my feeling.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to be rooting for the Panthers this week. Even though I don't like the Panthers, I had to do a Panthers commercial before. I had to root for them in a commercial, and that kind of bummed me out. And I'm going to be watching the game in Times Square. So
okay, well, that sounds fun. That sounds fun. All right.
Yeah. My girlfriend, she's dragging me. So.
Okay. Well, heck, you're going to be doing that and then enjoying New Year's Eve. That should be fun, watching the ball drop and all that. So hopefully it's a happy New Year's on multiple levels. But either way, have a safe time when you're out there and enjoy your New Year, man.
You too, man. Go Hawks.
Yeah, go Hawks. Thanks for the call. Well, hey, I got some breaking news here. I mentioned before that David Slita, who I've collaborated with down in Atlanta, it just turns out that he has joined in the conference, and I'm going to bring in here, not on Skype, but we're just going to get him on here by phone. So let's bring him on right now. David, are you with us, man?
Yeah, what's up, Norb? How you doing, 12?
Doing good, man. It's good to hear from you. I was concerned I wouldn't hear at all from you, but glad to hear your voice.
Yeah, the work, unfortunately, kind of has messed me up due to a circumstance within our company. So the schedule has been changed for a couple of days, but I really couldn't miss it. I wanted to get in on the Skype, but I wanted to jump in on this. Let me give a shout-out to Pete Carroll's Gum, Seattle Seahawks fan. Obviously, Norb, I've been trying to tell you, dude, you need to get with this chick. You need to collab with her, man. She reps your team hard. And she's a good friend. And a couple guys in the chat I see, Modhob and whatever. But really, I can't stay too long, but I just wanted to say that with the circumstances between the Falcons and Seahawks and myself and you the last couple of years in the playoffs, the last couple of times that we played in the playoffs and the regular season, and Dan Quinn coming from Seattle, I kind of find it funny that it's coming down to indirectly Falcons and Seahawks fighting for the playoffs. And I will be dead honest. I don't think that either team is playing up to capabilities, but somebody's got to take this spot. And I will be honest. I honestly, you follow my channel, this year, and the differences between the channel this and last year. I haven't predicted anything because this team is so inconsistent offensively, playing better defense, but it's just playing so inconsistent. I really don't know what to expect, but I really believe that this Sunday, sorry Seahawks, that the Falcons, you're going to see the team that played in the playoffs up until the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl this Sunday, because I don't see how they're going to let Carolina come in and potentially end our season, depending on what Seattle does with Arizona. I just don't see it happen. I think Atlanta's going to muster up one really special game send us to the playoffs and take our chances. But I'll be honest, I don't like our chances in the playoffs if we cannot get consistently. But I'll be honest, as excited as I would feel bad for you and Megan, Pete Carroll's gum, and your Seahawks 12 because you got a loyal fan base. Congrats on your daughter there. I see her. Congrats on your accomplishment.
It's my little gymnast right here.
In your meet.
Yep, she got first place for the first time in her meet
last
last weekend.
That was really cool. It was cool to see that. But I will say on the flip side, if by chance we do miss out on the playoffs, which means Sunday is going to be a reckoning Sunday, I will be happy for you, Norb, as a loyal fan of your team. And I know you're probably going to be at the game. I know. For Pete Carroll's gum, for all your followers, I'll be happy for you guys. But I just think it's going to be Atlanta getting in, man, and we'll see what happens, man. We got to score points, and Arizona. As we know throughout the years, Arizona has been a kryptonite on you guys.
Thorn in our side. Yep.
Yeah, I remember that game with the number 1 seed on the line, and so I guess Atlanta and David Slita beat y'all again. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens, bro.
All right, man. Well, thanks. It's always good to talk to you, and I guess we'll
maybe we'll do
a thing after the game.
After all the finality is set in.
We'll definitely have things to talk about, good and bad, next week because it's going to be bad. It's going to be a bad week for one of us and a good week from the other.
Yeah.
And we'll see who that's going to be. But yeah, we should definitely talk about it next week and do a video thing. But but yeah, well, thanks for coming in, man. I'm glad to hear from you.
We'll do, man.
All right. Well, good luck with everything, and happy holidays, happy New Year. All right. All right, that was Dave Slita. Good to have him in the conversation. This is my daughter, Vanessa, right here, as I mentioned. My little gymnast. Is everything okay, baby girl?
Yeah.
Okay, you just want to say hi? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's see what we got. Well, we're going up on 2 hours here. I'm going to try to get a few more calls in real quick. All right, let's go with the 201. What's going on? Who's this and where are you calling from? Hello? You there? Hello, caller from 201.
Hello?
Yes, you're on with NorbCam. Who's this?
Hi. This is Julian from New Jersey.
Is it Julian?
Yes, sorry, I'm in shock. I didn't know you were going to answer mine.
Oh, there we go. All right, Julian from New Jersey, man. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I was wondering how you could tell us, how the Seahawks could fix their offense, what they're doing wrong and stuff.
Well, I think, it comes back down to the offensive line. I think our running backs are fine. I think they're good. The problem is the running backs just don't have places to run. And even Mike Davis had a chance to, he would have, minimal yards we already got. He had one where he was hit behind the line of scrimmage for a 3-yard loss. He spun out of it and got 5 out of the play. So even when situations break down like that, our running backs are still making something happen. But, I think we're getting closer. It feels like, I mentioned this earlier, that when in the beginning we had multiple breakdowns on the line. Now it seems like the line is almost everybody's blocked up, but we seem to have still that one guy who doesn't get his block on a guy, and it blows the play up. So if we can just get everybody for a few plays to do their job, then I think we'll have some success in the run game. And that might be enough to get us 50, 60 yards, 70 yards. I don't expect to be breaking 100 anytime soon, but maybe between Russell and a running back, if we can get 100 yards, to me that's a good day. And then from the passing game, some of this is on Russ. I think that he's holding the ball too long, hesitating for whatever reason, maybe doesn't want to turn the ball over, which I understand because, look what happened to Dak Prescott, turned the ball over, 2 interceptions. One was not really his fault, but the turnovers can end the game for you, and that's exactly why the Seattle Seahawks beat the Dallas Cowboys. But I think he just needs to trust it a little bit, and obviously the line's got to protect, but sometimes the line just even when they're doing an okay job, Russell's breaking the pocket quickly, thinking there's pressure, and then he rolls into the pressure. So sometimes you just got to stand in there and just deliver, and not bail out too early. So, that's what I feel like, those little things they got to do. And the receivers got to help out. They got to come open, and if they're not there, if it's not there, they got to come back and come back to Russell so he can find them on the scramble drill. Sometimes they're out there and they're just kind of standing around or running off, and they need to come back and help their quarterback. So little things like that can go a long way in just sustaining drives and keeping things going. You know what I mean? So that's my thoughts anyway, as far as how to keep this offense on the plus side. Because they're not going to suddenly reinvent themselves, but they can do things a little bit better. Just to, instead of going 2nd and 13, maybe it'll be 2nd and 7, and then it'll be 3rd and 3 instead of 3rd and 18. Just things like that. The negative plays are killing us. So, you think?
I agree, but because I feel like our offensive line has been kind of lazy lately, not really doing their job, giving up too many sacks and stuff. They're just missing catches and stuff. It's just kind of weird how when they had all these good players, from the Legion of Boom, it was really good, and then they lose Marshawn Lynch, Golden Tate, and all that. They just fall off, and they're really bad lately.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's lazy per se. I don't know if I'd use that word, but just my buddy Patrick and I just talked about, we say LOE, lack of execution. And, a lot of times it's just being in the wrong place, missing your block. Sometimes it's mental, just not focusing and doing what you're supposed to do or getting the guy you're supposed to. It's like a weak link in the chain. If that chain isn't solid and there's not one person lets it through, that's enough to blow up a play. So, but yeah, execute. They just got to execute the play that's in front of them, and even a false start, that's just a lack of focus. There's no reason that should happen at all, especially at home. No reason at all for that. Anyway, thanks for the call, man. Yeah. You got another question? What's up?
Oh, yeah, just one last question, sorry. How do you feel about what the Cardinals said about how they beat us at our home and, saying that they were going to beat us up?
Yeah, I brought that up. Yeah, the coach Arians in their locker room saying that the Seahawks is their home field, and the Central League is their home field, and they're going to kick our butts. That's they say that stuff in their own house, of course, to get their own guys charged up. But the fact that it was on camera and then the Seahawks can catch wind of that, we'll see if they can, if they'll respond to that. Hopefully they do, because not that Seattle needs any more to get them excited. If they can't get up for this game, something's wrong. But that might just give them that little extra itch, that little extra edge to get around the edge to lay a little extra punishment on their quarterback. So we'll see if they get that done. But it's kind of like Elliott with his making the bet that he was going to get 200 yards on us with Eric Dickerson. Seattle made sure that didn't happen. So watch what you say, because sometimes karma can be a you-know-what.
Yeah.
So, all right, Julian. Well, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate it.
Thank
all
you.
right.
Bye.
Go Hawks. All right, I'm going to go to the 206 here. What's up? Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is Andrew, Captain Blue and Greenbeard calling you, man.
Hey, Andrew, what's going on, man?
Dude, I went to the Dallas Cowboys game, man. I can't tell you how quiet that stadium is.
Is that right?
I got upgraded to the club section, and the club section was a joke. An old man told me hey, you can't yell here. And I'm like, this is a football game. Go back to your retirement facility if you don't want to yell, sir. Only reason I said that is because during the game, he kept just being just very disrespectful and so forth. And I was still amazed that they had a 1st and goal. And the 1st and goal went to a 3rd and 8, and their kicker botched the kick. And I didn't know this, but apparently after he botched that kick, Jerry Jones just left the game. And I was like, wow. And also a lot of Cowboys fans left the game. And I got a lot of crap from Cowboy fans, before the game and everything like that. And I got a lot of respect, though, after the game. Hey, it was a good game. Got high fives and so forth. I'll tell you this, Norb. I highly recommend you never go to AT&T Stadium ever.
Right?
It is horribly built, horribly, like, it's not easy to get around. If you're not in a club section, it's impossible to get around that stadium. It's a very interesting experience. I stayed at Frisco for the training facility. It was pretty cool. The tour guide made a joke saying, "Oh, this is the history that Seattle doesn't have." And I'm just like, really? Like, that's kind of hurtful, even though, like, we're only 15 years old, like, 15 years after you guys were founded. And,
Right.
But that game was just, oh, man, it was crazy, like, back and forth. And I thought for sure we're going to go overtime, it'd be a great game and so forth. But, man, that was one of the games you should have gone to. Like, it was just, oh, it was crazy.
Well, I think I saw some of your video. You posted some videos on Facebook and stuff, right?
Yeah, I did. I recorded I got all my Snapchats of the game and so forth. I met Cliff. I was walking.
Yeah,
by,
you're talking
I was
about
on
you
the field,
shook
I paid
Cliff
extra money
Avrill's
for that.
hand, right? You met Cliff Averill.
Dude, he is like I have my glasses on. I'm so glad I have my glasses on. I was crying. I'm like, dude, please come back. Like, and he was the nicest guy ever. The weirdest thing was about being on the field is I said, "Hey, Michael Bennett." He ignored me. He went to the Salvation Army. Well, there's two of those. Not the one that the guy just into, but the other one to the left. Before the game, Michael Bennett puked out all his sunflower seeds next to it and walked back onto the field. And I'm like, that is pure class, Michael Bennett.
Whoa. Okay, wow. Glad I didn't see that.
I know. I was just like, and it was just so funny. But no, yeah. No, like it was an experience I'll never forget. Especially Christmas Eve. But that, like, Jerry Jones has 100,000 seats in that stadium, and he has to force them to start making noise. And like Seattle fans, we know when to be quiet, we know when to make noise, and it's very embarrassing to be a Cowboys fan. The loyal fan base they have is little to none.
Interesting. Well, it doesn't seem to be a very strong home field advantage in just the outside view. But yeah, for a stadium as big as it is, it doesn't sound loud, just from the broadcast aspect of it. But, I know it's kind of like the 49er thing, it's like really state-of-the-art, nice stadiums, but it seems like that doesn't necessarily translate into rabid fan bases. I think, people with a lot of money going in there, they don't necessarily translate into loud, passionate fans. That's very different from people who can afford the tickets. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's good, like, good insight.
It's like my grandma put it in perspective. It's like NFL games are a redneck sport. People work hard for the money. They go enjoy it. They have a few beers, have some food, and they go cheer. For the Dallas Cowboys side, they're already rich snobs. They don't know what they're doing. They just spent thousands of dollars on seats. They don't care what they do. They don't care how they dress, and that's it. In Seattle, people work hard for the money, and they expect to go have a good experience, and of course they do. Dallas Cowboy fans, the complete opposite. Oh, I'm already rich. I got an oil pipeline, this and that. I couldn't tell you how many people I saw in suits rather than a jersey. I was so like, wow. Like,
that kind of defines the 49er crowd as well. That's why so many people, they'd like disappear to get their wine and cheese after halftime and they never come back out. Luckily in Seattle, it's not like that, but I think I'm seeing more and more signs of some fans who are like that. Just in little bits, obviously not en masse, but there are a few more fans who seem to be more interested in being on their phone and, paying attention to other things and not necessarily into the game. Luckily, it's further and far between, but I think it's just a product of the nature of the cost to get in there because it's expensive to go to games these days, So,
not cheap. No, I'm like, I'll tell you this: that big, huge screen Jerry has is really annoying. Like everyone literally watching
the screen instead of watching the game. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to tell person next to me, stop watching the screen. Look down.
Right.
They're right in front of you.
Right.
And it's just so annoying. it's just the aspect of that game itself and the atmosphere is just really embarrassing. And I've been to Santa Clara. I've been to that new stadium. I hated that stadium so much because of the fact that it took 25 to 40 minutes to get food and 5 seconds to get a beer. And I'll tell you this much. There was a lot of good Seahawks fans there, and I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to meet up with Cairo 7 and NFL Films on the sideline. But I'll never forget the moment. I said, "Hey, Cliff, what's up?" And he literally walked right up to me and shook my hand. I'm just like, this is worth the money of going to the game and experience it, and I can't wait to do the same thing in Seattle. I'm sorry for talking so much, but I had to tell you because I don't get to see you during the games because you're always so crowded and popular. Like, out of all the stadiums to go to, Norb, for a away game, I would never recommend going to a Dallas Cowboys game ever, unless you want to just do one and done experience like I did. But it's really like, the stadium itself is like, imagine it being in, I'll say, Richland, Washington, and your hotel's in Seattle, and just how far it is away from everything.
Wow.
It's just sad.
Well, that's good to know, man. It's talking about stadiums. I think, well, obviously I had a very enjoyable experience going to MetLife for Super Bowl 48, and so I like that stadium. That's and I like the stadium. I remember it was just different because I'm used to our CenturyLink field design and going to that kind, which is more in your open bowl kind of stadium. I enjoyed that. Even before the game got good, it was a pleasant experience. Other than getting there when we got stuck in this mess with the trains, but getting in the stadium itself was actually very nice. But yeah, so that's one of my favorites, I'd say. And then actually, the one in New Orleans is all right. The fans were cool. I actually really enjoyed going to Carolina. The fans were very friendly over there. And so I've had pretty good experiences, but I may not rush to going into Dallas now after that review. So maybe if it's a playoff game or something where it's like an opportunity to see the Seahawks play a playoff game down there, maybe it'd be a different story. But
for the game, yes, 100%. Before I say goodbye to you, congrats. I heard on the course and listened to you for the past hour. Congrats to your daughter to making an awesome gymnastics thing. Congratulations to her, and a late Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And I think I'm going to the game. If I'm not going to the game, you have a great Seahawks game, and I'll root for while I'm at home.
All right, man. Well, thanks. You brought good stuff. I appreciate the perspective. And, it's going to be a great game on Sunday. So we'll talk again afterwards.
27-14.
All right. I'll go with that. 27-14 works for me.
Yes, it does. You have a good night, man.
All right, you too, man.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks. All right. Let's a lot of new numbers here trying to get to. Let's go to the 253. Who's this and where you calling from?
How's it going, Norb? This is Cody from Bonnie Lake.
Oh yeah. What's up, man? How's it going?
Good. How's your Christmas?
It was very good. Enjoyed having some snow in here. It's not very often we get snow on Christmas Eve, so I enjoyed the Christmas Eve snow coming down during the middle of the game, and then White Christmas yesterday. So, how about yours?
It was good. I was glad that we had some snow on Christmas. It's nice. It's always nice to have a white Christmas.
Yep. So, what's your thoughts? How you feeling about our team this week?
Well, honestly, going back to the Cowboys game, I know I'm a Seahawks fan, but I didn't think we were going to win that game.
Yeah.
It seemed just because of how Zeke, coming back from the 6-game suspension and how he hasn't played and how he's had fresh legs. But, defensively, we were able to get to Dak, I think, 4 times, and we picked him off twice. So that's definitely something that if we do make a playoff run, it's going to be much needed. And I think how they kind of talked about earlier, if Zeke was just kind of slowly kind of get into the groove, that didn't happen at all. He had 24 carries and held them under 100 yards, but it's definitely it's definitely a huge help, especially winning on the road in a must-win game and eliminating the Cowboys.
Yeah. No, the defense performance was awesome. Just the way they were able to keep the run, bend but don't break, but the turnovers. I mean, that was the difference. The turnovers, until we got that first turnover, we were looking very not in this game. And then the turnover came, and it just brought new life. That's kind of what happens. Yeah. That's to protect the ball, That's one of the keys. So winning that turnover battle, huge, especially on the road. But we're going to have to do the same thing at home.
And especially when they're in the red zone, holding them to field goals the entire time.
Yeah, considering how well they were running the ball, so yep, no, very, very good job. But we can't count on that every single time. So the offense has got to help us out. 130 yards total offense or whatever that was is not going to get it done moving forward for sure. So especially since we'll be on the road most likely the rest of the time.
We'll see. I had kind of doesn't really have to do with the game at all, but Jamal Charles said he wanted out to Denver, and I know we have Mike Davis and Thomas Rawls, but do you think that would be a good fit for Seattle at all?
Jamal Charles, man, I remember his name popped up at one point where we had an opportunity to possibly go after him and we didn't. I don't know. Right now, I don't feel like our running backs are the problem. I feel like you put anyone behind that line and they're all going to struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Alex Collins, look what he's doing for Baltimore. He's 800 something yards this season, and he didn't even make we just let him go. He wasn't even number 4 on the list, and so obviously there's nothing wrong with him. He's running just fine. So it's got to point to the line, that he's running behind or the system or something like that. But. But I like the way Mike Davis runs. I like the way Chris Carson runs. Even Thomas Rawls. But a lot of times these guys are just getting creamed at the point of attack or in the backfield, and what can you do about that? That's just
because the offensive line isn't getting any push at all.
Yeah, and so
that's the big thing.
So, there's going to be some shuffling again of the offensive line. I don't think Jokel's going to be back because he was like a one-year rent-a-player. But we will have George Fant to see what he can do with the fact that he missed an entire year. Dwayne Brown, will they be able to keep him? Maybe it would be good if they could. Britt will be there. If Eddie, man, it's like you got to make that thing work somehow. And then what else? I don't know. They're going to have to continue to address that, but something's got to be fixed there because it's just not been working 2 years in a row. Just not acceptable to have our top running backs be a guy who only played 4 games this year, and then Kristen Michael as the leading running backs for the last 2 years. That's just like what? So, something's got to be fixed. And I think we got good running backs. It's just the line, whatever we got to do. And whether it's coaching, I think there's going to be some changes there. So we'll see. But like D. Clem 1 says, Dwayne Brown, I hope they can bring him back. I'd love to see a veteran guy like him who seems to be doing pretty well considering. I think he can nail down that left tackle position. And, if we can just shore up the rest, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, when we got Dwayne Brown, I kind of, obviously this isn't a very, I guess it wouldn't be a perfect comparison, but I just kind of thought that was our Walter Jones kind of, a guy that's solid on the Russell's blind side.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how much, that'd be a whole other video to talk about the cap space situation once the season comes to an end. Yeah. But a lot of changes, a lot of players going to be shuffled around this coming year, so it's going to be interesting. They have some tough decisions to make for sure.
Yeah.
So, but first things first, got to get this win and hope that the Panthers can pull it out. Yep. All right. Well, thanks for the call, man.
Yep.
Enjoy your new year and go Hawks.
All right, go Hawks. Thanks for having me.
You bet. All right. Coming down to the wire here, the last few calls. All right, I got to get, this has got to be our good friend Tori. Is this Tori?
Yep, what's up?
What's up? Hey, Tori, wow. How have you been?
I've been good.
So congratulations! I saw your post. I saw your post about you're going to get engaged. Is that right on New Year's Eve?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome! Congratulations! What a way to
right?
celebrate New Year's. I'm kind of surprised that you know, though. I thought normally it's supposed to be like a surprise, and you just find out when it happens. But you kind of already know in advance.
Yeah, he already told me, so.
I just figured if he's going to tell you, might as well just pop the question right there. Otherwise, it's like, okay, I'm going to tell you in 5 days. I'm going to pop the question in 5 days. So just hang out for 5 days, and I'm going to ask you. But hey, you know, the point is, it's very exciting. So congratulations. That's awesome. Happy for you.
And I'm wearing the hat that you got me, so that's pretty cool. I love it.
Oh, thank you very much. She's wearing one of my NorbCam beanies. Saw her at the viewing party on Sunday at Emerald Downs. And so, yeah, again, Merry Christmas to you. Thanks again for always, thanks for the support, always being there.
So, what do you think about Tater turning 5?
Yeah, I know you told me about that, and I mean, I think it's awesome. Like I said, I'm not sure yet schedule-wise. It's always hectic and busy. The girls have a lot of their activities and stuff like that. But I'll let you know how it'll work out. In the minimum, I'll try to at least do a little video for Taylor. That's the least I can do. So I'll let you know if it works out.
Yeah, 'cause she wants to see you and whatnot. So, when is the next viewing party?
Well, it just depends on what happens with the Seahawks next. If the Seahawks make the playoffs, then there will be a viewing party the following week because we would be in the wild card round. So potentially we could have a viewing party a week from Sunday.
All right, cool.
Worst case scenario, then the next thing would be the Super Bowl, since I am going to be hosting the Super Bowl party over at Emerald Downs too. So that would be February 4th. Super Bowl Sunday. So as soon as possibly a week from Sunday, cool. Worst case scenario, Super Bowl Sunday. So hopefully we're back there again in a week and a half. So it all depends on how things go this Sunday. So yeah, I hope to be back. I don't want this to end. I'm not ready for it to end yet. So
Me either.
Yeah.
My sister got me a brand new Seahawks hat for Christmas and some Seahawks gloves. So
nice.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Sounds cool. Well, you have to bring your fiance next time. You have to bring your fiance next time to the party, so I can meet him. That'd be pretty awesome.
Yeah, whenever he's available.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna be watching? You're gonna be watching the game?
Videos.
Oh, that's nice. Taylor does?
Yeah, she does.
That's nice. Well, you say hi to her for me. Tell her thank you. So NorbCam says hi. So yeah, you're gonna be watching the game from home on Sunday then?
You want to say hi to Norb? Say hi.
I heard something.
He said hi.
Okay, hi Taylor.
You said hi, Tay. Hi. She said Seahawks.
All right, yeah, go Hawks. Woo! All right, well, I know for you, no matter what, New Year's Eve is going to be an exciting time, but hopefully it'll be coupled with a Seahawk victory on Sunday. So, yeah, let's make New Year's Eve a night to remember.
I'm definitely coming to the viewing party, so.
All right. All right, well, enjoy your New Year's. We're going to try to make this as happy as possible, and, yeah, we got to get this thing done for sure, so, yeah.
And it is lightly snowing down here again.
Oh, it is? Well, I don't expect a snow game on Sunday, although I think that would be the coolest thing ever. But, you know, I don't think the weather forecast is predicting as such, but I would love to see a snow game in CenturyLink Field. It doesn't happen very often. But that'd be pretty cool.
I know, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks. I appreciate the call. It was good seeing you on Sunday. We'll keep in touch.
All right, you too.
All right. Go Hawks. All right, a couple more here. I'm trying to get to y'all, so let's go to the 406. Who's this? Where you calling from?
This is John calling from Wyoming.
John from Wyoming. I think I've spoken to you before, haven't I?
Yes.
Yeah.
2 times.
Yeah. Okay. What's up, man? What's on your mind this week?
Well, I have been keeping an eye on the majority of the teams and how they've been doing because I've been watching like the NFL Network shows, and I noticed that we did start to get our run game going, but not like too much. And I got to thinking, man, what would happen if we had Alvin Kamara?
Oh, man. Well, both those guys, they got 2 really good running backs there. So, again, I don't think the problem is the running backs, though. The problem is the line behind which they run. You know what I mean? Because you plug in all those different guys in there, and it just hasn't seemed to be working. Unless, Chris Carson really is that much different than the rest of our backs, but it just feels like when I'm watching them, I don't see running backs not running well. I just see holes not opening up for them. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and Mike Davis, he like you said, and a lot of people are saying, he can take maybe negative 3-yard play and turn it into a first down.
Right. Yeah, Mike Davis is good. He's got some moves. He got some power. He can catch the ball. I like the way Mike Davis runs. And Chris Carson. Those guys would be a deadly 2-back combination. If he can come back, it'd be a great thing to shake things up, I think. So, and I think our line is just 1 or 2 execution plays away from doing it a little more consistently. So they're getting there. It's just taken too long this season to evolve, but you never know. You never know in the playoffs. Maybe we can get Chris Carson back, and that just him being back alone would somehow spark things. I don't know. I'm reaching a little bit, but I think it's just who we've got. We've just got to, Wilson's got to execute. He's got to not hold the ball too long. Trusting his receivers. Receivers got to do their job. Lions got to block, hold their blocks. I should say hold, not use that word. They need to maintain their blocks and just keep things, just execute a little cleaner, It's just a little cleaner. So, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I have been confused on something ever since I was listening to I believe it was the Eagles game last night, and I just want to know what exactly is a crackback block.
Oh yeah, because we got penalized for that, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, the crackback block. Well, normally I think it's now defined as if a defender is going down the line and then somebody blindsided block comes back against the grain and hits him that way. I think that's a crackback. But then the one we saw where the guy hit him like on the legs, right? Isn't that the way we got penalized for that one? And so that was, I think, one of those plays where, I don't know. I didn't quite understand that being a crackback block. Vanessa's reading the comments over here about Ponsit and Adobo. So I didn't really understand that play, I know they're trying to take away, these blocks to the knees and things like that. I thought, so I didn't quite understand the definition of that one, because I thought crackback is where you're, like somebody gets, almost like a blindside block. Mm-hmm. But so I was a little confused on that one myself. I didn't think that fell in that category, but that's how they defined it. So anyway, yeah, we got to try to just limit penalties. I guess it would help to know what they are, some of these. But anyway, yeah, we just got to clean it up a little bit. And Russell's got to just go back to being Russell. He just seems to be off his game the last couple of games for whatever reason.
And I looked up what a crackback block was on YouTube, and it showed me a video of the JoJo Smith-Schuster hit against the Bengals.
Yeah.
And I was trying to figure that one out, but I didn't really get a clear view of it. But then I do want to go on to defense. We have a good, strong... It's not that we don't have a good, strong safety core. It's just they need to, like, perform better. Like, Bradley McDougald, I, like, watched the highlights of him from when he played for the Bucks, and he was playing really good, but, like, he hasn't played as... I don't want to say as well, but he hasn't, like... I don't know if it's because of the lack of time or what, but he hasn't, like, gotten any, like, interceptions or anything. And then Delano Hill, I mean, I don't know if they don't know of his potential or they just didn't see your video, but from the highlights that you showed in your draft video, he looks like he would do really good.
Yeah, Delano Hill hasn't played. They haven't done much with him. He got ejected from a game, I remember, on a special teams play. But yeah, I know. Yeah, we haven't seen much from him. I thought maybe he'd be the guy that replaces Cam Chancellor, but it's been McDougald who's been doing all of the safety, all the safety work, and he's been doing pretty good. He's no Cam Chancellor, doesn't have that enforcer, but then I think Cam Chancellor is kind of very unique in his own way. So I don't know if we'll ever have a guy that fits Cam Chancellor's mold and physique and playing style. He's very, that's why I like that guy so much. And I just don't see him being replaced by anybody anytime soon. I'm hoping he can come back from that injury and still have another couple of years left. Because, man, that game he went out was against the Cardinals in Arizona, and he had the game of the year, that game, shutting down Adrian Peterson and just playing like a beast, and then he got injured. So I hope he's back next year. But we'll see. We'll see what what happens. Well, thanks for the call, man. Appreciate your insight and the crackback block discussion and all that.
Mhm. Yeah.
So.
See you, Norb. Kind of hope to get a little more snow here in Wyoming, and go Hawks.
All right, go Hawks. All right, man. Well. It's been about 90 minutes, and unfortunately, I'm going to have to wrap this up, everybody. Sorry I didn't get to all the calls. I'd leave a few of you hanging, and I'm sorry about that. But time to call it quits. This is getting chat room material here as we go here. But anyway.
Goodbye.
I want to thank you guys for being here tonight, for the chat, for the calls. You guys make this discussion fun. So that's it. We got this big game, obviously, Sunday. I hope you'll check out my live stream Sunday and tune in and watch the reactions as they unfold from my section in 331 in CenturyLink. And that's it. Please subscribe, and we'll talk to you guys at the game. All right? Talk to you later. Say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Go Hawks.